Who else thinks this song is a bop, by the way? It's such a bop. I love this song so much. Like, unironically, I legit love it. Ah, sorry if the intro was a bit long. I got to the end of, the first song, and I was like, wait, no, I'm not ready. So I played another song. I hope that's all good. But it's such a jam, so it should be fine. It is such a jam. I'm glad you think so. Because it's one of those songs, when I first heard it, I was like, this is a weird song. But it really grew on me. It's such a bop. It's such a bop. It slaps, as it were, I guess. Hello, everyone. I hope you all are having a good day. I'm looking forward to doing Danganronpa, because I always love doing the trials. So, but per the norm, I think my roommates are still working, so I'm just gonna try to keep these to be a little more tame. We'll see if I can do that. And I don't know, my brain's kind of slow today, so I might mess up a lot in the trial. I might not. I know I've done this before, so I'm not anxious, but I'm interested to see how it turns out. I don't know. Anyway, that's beside the point. I hope everyone in chat's having a good day. Hope you guys are doing good. I should have led with that instead of ranting about me. Hope you guys are having a good day, or at least surviving the day. Because surviving the day is better than just having a garbage day, you know? At this point, surviving is acceptable. But, in my opinion. Well, this song's almost over, so how about we get started and figure out who the frick killed Sakura? Because, as y'all know, if you've been watching this series, I have often said how much I love Sakura. Often. Sakura's one of my favorite characters. So, yeah, this trial is... Ooh, boy. I don't think I should say anymore. Man, let's just get the game going. Let's just get the game going. So good. So good. Yeah. Alright. Oh, the song's almost done. Hold up. Just let it finish out. Let it finish out. And it's finished. Such a jam, man. Such a jam. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Alright. Hopefully this'll still work. Oh, jeez. Go, 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 go. Pick it up. It picked it up. Cool, cool, cool. Cool, cool, cool. Okay. How's audio? Let me know how audio is. Either way, I guess let's do a recap of basically what happened. So last time, we saw, Sakura fighting Monokuma, and we were like, oh my gosh, I think Sakura is the spy, or at least based on the traitor spy, whatever, based on what we heard from that conversation. So we were trying to find a time where we could talk to Sakura about it, but, before that happened, we managed to talk to Kyoko, and Kyoko was like, hey, I showed you this one secret thing, which was the secret room with all these interesting documents that ended up getting stolen. Kyoko was like, hey, I told you about the secret that I'm keeping, or that I was looking into. You're keeping a secret. You told me to trust you, so I want you to trust me. And we were like, I want to trust you too, but I also want to confirm what's going on before I do that. She's so mad at us. Yes. When we basically didn't tell her, she got very mad at us. It was awkward. Pretty much everyone after that point was like, yo, you need to, like, figure out what's going on with you and Kyoko, because this is ridiculous. She wouldn't even go to the dining hall when we were there. Anyway. Then, Monokuma decides to make an announcement, and we're like, oh, it's gotta be the motive. And he was like, guess what, everyone? That traitor you're talking about? Yeah, it's Sakura. And we're like, what? So, everyone knew that Sakura was the traitor, but Sakura was... It's trying to defend herself like I was initially. And it sounded like she didn't have a choice either, because like there was a hostage or something. But a lot of people were like, still kind of sus though. Which, I mean, it's a killing game. I also can't blame them, but at the same time, it's Sakura. But anyway, that's just my opinions. So things were really tense. Then, Hina was getting passionate because she's like, why are you guys doubting Sakura? Sakura's amazing. She wouldn't hurt us. And everyone's like, but she was working with Monokuma. And she's not exactly telling us anything about Monokuma either. So, Hina was getting upset. What happened was, Genocide Jack Toka was kind of being mean to Hina about Sakura. And then Toko sneezed, Genocide Jack came out, hurt Hina. We took Hina to the nurse's office, and then Sakura found out. It was like, what the frick? So then Sakura was mad, and then we managed to talk to Kyoko, and she was like, look, the secret was about Sakura, wasn't it? And you wanted to talk to her first. And we're like, yeah. And she's like, I understand why you did that, but I still think, you could have trusted me. And we're like, you know what, maybe. Anyway, but Kyoko says, like, you know what, it's fine, I might have overreacted, so we're on okay levels now. Then, Kyoko, so we go to Alter Ego. Because Alter Ego, asked us to, or like, at least asked the group to go and talk to him, but, so we went over there, and, they were like, is that everyone? Well, it's fine, at least it's 2 people. Basically, Alter Ego was like, I need you to hook me up to the network, because if I'm hooked up to the network, I can find out more about this school. And we're like, this is dangerous. This is like a suicide mission. But Alter Ego was like, let me do it, I want to help. So we're like, okay, Alter Ego, you're our friend. So we took Alter Ego to a place, where he could hook up to the network. So we're hoping to get more information on that. Then some time passes. Kyoko comes, gets us, and says, hey, Hina looks pale, something might have happened. And we go up to the rec room, and Hina was like, look in the rec room, and we see Sakura in there, just kind of sitting, and we're like, she's not moving. So we broke into the rec room, and we went to check on Sakura, and we found out that Sakura is dead. So, we are investigating Sakura's murder. And Hina has laid out some, I guess, because Hina's very passionate about Sakura. I mean, they're like best friends. Can you believe her? Anyway, she basically said Toko and Hiro and Byakuya can't investigate the crime scene because I know it's one of them. But Byakuya managed to strike a deal and it's like, okay, we'll make the other two not investigate, but at least let me be here. And that was the agreement. And Byakuya was also like, oh, and Hyoko, don't get in my way this time. You can't, like, you're limited on your investigation this time. Which is a little bullcrap if you ask me. Anyway, I have a lot of opinions. I think that's the recap. I've rambled too long, I think. So, we're gonna just hop right in and investigate Sakura's, murder. Here we go. Alright. I better check the Monokuma file before anything else. Victim was Sakura Ogami. The time of death is estimated to be around 12 noon. The body was discovered in the rec room on the 3rd floor of the school. There is evidence of a strong blow to the victim's head. No other injuries were noted. However, it seems that at some point the victim suffered from non-violent vomiting of blood. Okay.
Hey.
I think this case this time might be a challenge.
Why's that?
So...
The only way into the rec room is the door we just came through. And that door had been jammed shut with the chair from the inside of the rec room. Which means the killer would have had to escape somehow after barring the door.
So, if it was blocked from the inside, then there was no way in or out till we broke the window. There's like zero escape, right? Wait, Spike Chunsoft made a game called Zero Escape, didn't they? I'm pretty sure. I wonder if that's a reference. Anyway.
In other words...
This is a classic locked room murder.
Locked room murder?
I guess you might see this kind of thing a lot in mystery movies or books or whatever.
But could it really happen in real life? Right before our very eyes like this?
Hey.
Are you curious to hear more about what a locked room murder entails?
Sure, if you don't mind.
That's fine.
When you break down this kind of murder mystery, there are 4 basic types. The first type is when the locked room is created after the actual crime is committed. This simply means that the killer commits this crime, then through some special method seals the room. This mainly involves some sort of trick involving locking of the room. Basic approaches include using a string or a simple mechanism. There are a number of variations.
So for all that, all we have to do is check the door and see if that's what it was, right?
Correct.
Second type is when the locked room already exists before the crime is committed.
In other words...
Basically, the killer uses a special contraption or tool from outside to target the victim inside. You push a switch and it fires a handgun. You shoot an arrow through a gap in the door, something like that.
However...
But in this case, that doesn't seem to fit. There are no guns or arrows in the school, and the door doesn't have any gap that would allow it.
Yeah, I think we can probably cross that one off the list.
It's true.
The third type is when the killer stays in the room until it's opened up.
What do you mean by that?
In other words...
They stay hidden, and when the door is opened, they use the confusion to blend in with the crowd. They pretend they show up along with everyone else, and that's that.
That sounds like it could have been possible. Maybe.
It's true.
And the fourth and final type is when it wasn't actually a locked room at all.
Not a locked room?
In other words...
By that I mean, there is actually an alternate escape route somewhere within the room. You see this a lot in novels and things, but in reality it's generally not possible.
Then you think we can cross that one off too?
Indeed.
I believe so, yes. So when it comes to locked room mysteries, those are the basics.
So there are 4 possibilities. Then, Kyoko, which of those 4 choices seems the most likely in this case?
It's true.
That's a good question. Answering that should be our primary focus during this trial. But right now, I can't really say.
I see.
The way the killer set up the locked room. Till I figure that out, the truth behind Sakura's death will stay hidden. It's definitely a tough mystery. I need to concentrate and investigate as much as I can.
For Sakura, if nothing else. Let's just start looking around. We'll gather testimonies in a bit. This looks like some kind of rapper.
Huh?
Do you recognize it, Hina?
Well, yeah, I mean, I gave it to her. That's a candy wrapper. Sakura got super upset when she found out Genocide Jack had attacked me, right? So after we left the nurse's office, I gave it to her. I thought it might help her calm down a little.
So you gave that candy to Sakura?
I found a big box of it in the warehouse. I really like them. Actually, as soon as we could get into the warehouse, I took the entire box back to my room. I made sure no one else could get their hands on them.
You really like them that much?
But I wanted Sakura to get a chance to try one for herself. That's why I gave it to her. But now, they've lost all their flavor.
Hina.
Oh. There are shards of glass scattered all around the chair Sakura was sitting on. The glass is all red, and these are the top and bottom sections of a bottle, right? So this must have originally been a bottle. Huh? There's something else on the ground near the glass. It's a figure. It fits in the palm of my hand. It's a Monokuma figure. There are 4 red bottles lined up on the shelf. And inside each bottle there's some kind of Monokuma figure. What I'm wondering is how they get those figures inside the bottle.
So,
It's no different from your standard ship in a bottle. You know, where the bottle's opening is smaller than the boat placed inside? You never seen that?
Oh, yeah. Maybe I have.
in other words,
So this is the Monokuma version of that. A Monokuma bottle, if you will.
Cool. I feel like I'm starting to make sense of things little by little.
The Monokuma bottle's sitting on the shelf. The Monokuma figure we found on the ground. The red shards of glass, which probably started out as a bottle. Which would mean Sakura must have been hit in the head with a Monokuma bottle, right? The shards of glass and Monokuma figure are evidence of that. So I think it's safe to say that the Monokuma bottle was the weapon. Excuse me. Huh? The locker's open. And they're on the inside. It's a handprint?
why?
What's a handprint doing here?
It looks like someone touched the inside of the locker and it left a handprint all in the dust.
It's true.
And it looks quite fresh, too. I'd say someone was hiding here in the locker, and they left behind a little something extra.
So then, maybe the killer hid in here until the locked room was open, don't you think? And during all the confusion, they popped out and joined the rest of the group.
Wrong.
Unfortunately, that's not a possibility.
Why not?
Hey,
Think back. Before we opened the door, we looked inside the room, right?
Oh, yeah. The locker was already open at that point.
indeed.
So there's no way someone could have hidden in there until after we opened the door. Yeah, so then, what does this handprint mean? Well, let's look at this. There's a blood stain in front of the magazine shelf. It's come from Sakura, right? But that doesn't make sense. Why is it so far away from where she died? Sakura drew her last breath sitting slumped forward in this chair. There's obvious evidence of a blow to the head Sakura suffered. Normally I wouldn't have any problem believing that's what killed her. But according to the Monokuma file, she had also vomited blood. And I can see traces of blood on her lips for sure. So, what would have caused her to vomit blood? The Monokuma file specifically said she hadn't suffered any other injuries.
Maybe her getting in the head was somehow caused her to start vomiting blood?
Not a chance.
Byakuya.
That's fine.
However, your eyes have landed on a most interesting location.
Interesting.
Naturally.
Yes, most interesting. Don't you agree?
No, I don't think I'd call it interesting.
But it does make me wonder. The reason Sakura vomited blood all absolutely had to be connected to the way she died. same shelf full of magazines. There's different kinds of magazines here. BRB real quick. You're good. There's some kind of plastic container rolling around near the entrance to the room.
So,
It looks like a protein drink, and it's empty.
Sakura must have drank it. Everyone knows how much she loved her protein. And she mentioned before that... Wait, she mentioned more than once how protein was good for all sorts of ailments.
wrong.
I wouldn't take that to heart if I were you.
I know.
But still, this protein can. It's got a label on it that says Chem A2. That reminds me. Sakura mentioned how the Chem Lab had all kinds of health stuff. So she must have gotten this from the Chem Lab.
Just a second.
But that's strange.
What is it?
Hey,
You see what's scattered around the can?
Shards of light blue glass. They must have been parts of the window I broke to get inside.
correct.
But they aren't just scattered around the can, they're also underneath it.
Why does that matter?
So,
I can't say for sure yet, but you're probably going to want to take note of it. I feel like it'll become an important clue later on. An important clue? I'm not sure I see how. The chair was shoved up against the doorknob so we couldn't get the door open. There's no evidence of any kind of string or mechanism that was used on the chair.
In other words, there's no reason to think the chair had anything special done to it.
The store is the only way in or out of the rec room. The door doesn't have a lock, and there's no evidence that the mountings have been tampered with. The only notable change to the door is the smashed window, which happened, of course, when I broke it to get inside. There's no evidence that any kind of string or mechanism was used on the door. In other words,
I don't see anything suspicious about the door itself.
having examined both the door and the chair, there's no doubt the reason the door didn't open was simply because the chair was shoved up against it. This kept the doorknob from turning and the door from opening. There's no evidence of the door or chair being tampered with or anything like that. So the killer must have created the locked door from the inside, not from the outside. Alright, I think it's time to talk to people. Ina's probably gonna have a lot of info.
What the heck? I already know who did it.
I won't forgive you.
Byakuya, Toko, or Hiro. It had to be one of them. Welcome back. They couldn't stand the sight of her. You agree with me, don't you, Makoto?
Well, I don't want to say anything for sure without finding out more.
Then let me help you find out more. You see, Sakura asked all three of them to meet with her. You know where? Right here in the rec room.
What?
After I went to the nurse's office this morning, Sakura and I both left together, right? Well, eventually she went off on her own. But when I saw her again after that, she told me. She said she left a note for each of them. She asked them to meet her in the rec room by noon.
By noon, Monokuma Files said she died right around then.
I'm telling you the truth. I heard it right from Sakura herself. And I tried to stop her. But she wouldn't listen. She said not to worry and that she just wanted to talk to them. And this is what happened. If I had stopped her, by force even, this never would have happened.
Hina.
It's impossible not to have regrets, I know. The fact that she had asked those three to meet with her, and she asked them to come to the rec room at noon, the same time and place she ended up dying. Might be good to confirm what I just heard with the three of them directly. Hey, Byakuya, what do you gotta say about that? What do you want? You're bothering me.
There's something I'd like to ask you about.
Make it quick.
Is it true that Sakura asked you to meet her in the rec room?
So you found out. Interesting.
Then it's true?
I did receive a note to that effect, yes. But what fool would it do? Wait, what fool would do what it said and risk being killed by that monster?
So you didn't go see her?
Of course not. I ripped the note to shreds and threw it away. I haven't seen Sakura all day today. Byakuya says he didn't go see her, or... yeah, I think that tracks. Is that the truth?
Well, until I can prove otherwise, I have no choice but to accept it as fact.
Come on.
If you're all finished, please remove yourself from my sight.
Okay. Thanks.
Yoko.
However,
But for Sakura to have been killed,
Yeah, she's not the type who would go down without a fight.
it's true.
and she certainly didn't, I would say. She was the ultimate martial artist, strong in body, mind, and spirit. So how was the killer able to get the upper hand on her? I wonder, did someone get the upper hand?
They must have taken her by surprise, right?
Certainly.
Certainly. They would have needed to if they expected to stand any chance against her.
Listen,
Well, Makoto, have you finished with your general investigation?
Yeah, I think so. For the most part.
so then,
Then you should probably go talk with people now. I'm on guard duty, so I can't leave.
listen to me.
Which is why I've decided you'll go in my place.
She's decided? She's got a lot more pushy since we had our issue. But she's right. I do have to go talk to the others. Sakura wanted to meet with 2 other people. I need to hear what they have to say. Yeah. Let's go find them. I'm gonna save real quick, actually. Just to be safe. Oh boy. Those other 2 probably went back to their rooms. Yes. Toko's room is closed. Oh, there's Sayaka. There's Toko. Press the doorbell. And after a few seconds,
Who's there?
the most negative aura I've felt. An aura of total decay.
Well, what do you want?
So you're back to normal. Genocide Jack isn't around anymore.
Don't even say her name. It makes me sick to my stomach. I was in such a good mood, too.
She didn't look like she was in a good mood.
Hey, I was hoping to talk to you about something. Is now a bad time?
Obviously annoyed Toko slithered out into the hall.
What do you want?
You said you wanted to talk to me about something?
I wanted to ask or talk to you about the fact that Sakura had asked to meet with you.
Well,
I don't know what you're talking about.
Byakuya already told me she had asked to meet with him.
What? She wanted to meet with Master too? I just said you, didn't I? I guess now it's totally obvious.
Yeah, pretty much. So, can you tell me about it?
I admit, I did get the note, but I didn't go see her. I was scared, so I couldn't bring myself to go. You done goofed, son. You done goofed, Toko. You told us too much. You let it slip. Anyway, I don't know what this accent is. I apologize. Toko claims she didn't go see her, but can I really believe her? Well, until I can prove otherwise, I have no choice but to accept it as fact. Is that good enough? And then I'm going back to my room. With that, Toko quickly retreated into her room. Cool. Well, thank you for the account anyway. And then... Hero. Press the doorbell. After a few seconds...
You know?
What's up, Makoto? Did you need something?
Yeah, actually. I just wanted to check something. It's about how Sakura wanted to meet with you.
How did you know that?
Could it be?
Did you maybe gaze into my soul? Have your special abilities awakened in you? But I'm not the one she wanted to meet with. Ogre told me herself that she asked Byakuya and Toko to come too.
What? When did Sakura tell you that?
Oh, well, when she asked me to meet with her, of course.
But didn't she write you a note?
Yeah, a note. She
How about that?
She gave it to me in person, and then she happened to mention the others, like, in passing. I gotta be honest, this is super suspicious.
So then you went and met with Sakura.
We got it all
No
wrong.
way! I totally didn't. Why would I ever do that? Yeah, definitely suspicious.
Actually,
The last time I saw Ogre was when Hina got hurt and I took her to the nurse's office.
don't look at me.
You're very sus right now, Hero. Yeah. I haven't seen her since then.
While I'm here, could you show me the note she gave you?
Oh, do I still have it? Let's see. Hero is feeling around in his pockets.
Hey, come on.
Oh, sorry. Looks like I don't have it anymore. The big goofy smile on his face, he pulls his hands back out of his pockets. But when he did, I saw something flutter to the ground. Something had fallen out of Hero's pocket.
What?
Quick as the wind, Hero snatched it back up and shoved it back in his pocket.
Hey, come on.
Sorry, just a bit of trash I forgot to throw out.
Trash?
What?
Anyway, I can't deny Ogre asked me to meet with her, or asked to meet with me, but I never went. So, well, if you'll excuse me. Before waiting for a reply, Hero quickly slipped back into his room. Hero said it was just trash, but there's no way that's all there was to it. No way, man. Okay, so I've heard from Toko and Hero. What next? Definitely have to look at the actual crime scene again, but on top of that, maybe I should find out more about the protein can we found on the floor of the rec room. I'm sure it must have come from the chem lab. Alright, well, let's go to the chem lab. Whoops! Should be on the 4th floor? Yeah, there it is. I'll save again. Chem lab, what's in here? A mess. Oh, hey! Makoto, did you have your eye on the chem lab too? Just make sure you don't get in my way.
Yeah, I got it.
I think what you meant to say was, yes, sir, I understand. Excuse me. What's up, Sherlock? I was about to say, hope you're having a good day, but we're solving one of our classmates' murders, so it's not really a good day. But what's up, dude? Man, I don't... You just went up for the rec room to here? It's been a hot minute. Feels like I just saw you a minute ago. Anyway, let's check this out. What is this? This isn't my first time seeing the shelf, but I just can't get over how big it is. Should probably take a closer look at it. It looks like 3 shelves have been connected together to make one giant shelf. But more important right now, what's that powder that's been spilled in front of the shelf? I have to be careful not to step in it. There's a broken bottle in front of the shelf. Is this where all the powder came from? Hydrate or dihydrate. I just saw that message. It looks like the bottle had a label on it. Chem C4. Would you like to hear something interesting? I was on the 4th floor this morning, checking things out. And at that point, this room wasn't like this. There's a bit of a lag, but that's okay. Yeah, no, there typically is, yeah.
Then this powder must have been spilled.
So, in other words,
That's right. It could only have been around the time of the incident. If that it really is what happened, it must be related to the case somehow. These are footprints? And they're only in front of the left shelf. How do these footprints relate to the scene as a whole? We may need to sketch out the floor plan.
Wait, do you mean me?
How kind of you to offer. With an insufferable smirk, he handed me a piece of paper and a pen.
what?
Well, let's go. Chop chop.
Okay.
So I got to work, and before long I drawn up a sketch of the room.
So, how's this?
Not bad. For you, I mean.
Listen, you could just give us a compliment.
You can just give us a compliment. It'll be fine. For me?
I see.
He just doesn't want to admit he's bad at drawing. Can you Imagine the ultimate progeny, affluent progeny. It's just like so good at everything, but as soon as he starts drawing, he's like, this is terrible. I'm a failure. And that's why we draw, because he's terrible at drawing. I like this idea. I like this idea a lot. Ultimate's so good at everything except drawing. I'm the best at everything. Well then, let's see you draw a cat. And he's like, no, because why would I need to draw a cat? That's commoner's work.
But he's secretly bad at it.
Anyway. So when you look at it like this, interesting. It would appear that whoever left these footprints only had business at the leftmost shelf. They came in, went straight to that shelf, did whatever they had to, and then left. That's what the footprints tell me.
I see.
These footprints must be...
It's certainly
Makoto,
possible.
are they yours? No!
What?
Okay, then let me see your shoes, and I'll confirm their size for myself. Couldn't think of a reason not to, so I quietly did what Byakuya said. I see. Your feet do appear to be too big. Unfortunately, I must admit these are not your footprints.
Unfortunately?
But with how clear these prints are, it should be quite easy to determine who they do belong to. These prints are a really valuable clue. On this shelf, one look and I can tell it's nothing but dangerous chemicals. These look like poisons or other powerful chemicals. All the containers on this shelf are labeled with the letter C and a number. So I guess I could consider this part of the shelving unit Section C. On this shelf is... it's like a bunch of chemicals that I have no idea what they are. They're reagents. Put simply, they're used in experiments to bring about a chemical reaction. How have you lived in such ignorance for so long? It must truly be bliss.
Isn't that kind of harsh?
What?
What, do you think studying science and mathematics has no practical application in the real world?
That's fine.
The words of a lifelong loser. Which, I suppose, suits you well. I didn't even say that! Anyway, it doesn't matter. Right now I need to focus on the shelf. All the containers on the shelf are labeled with the letter B and a number, so I guess I can consider this part of the shelving unit Section B. I don't see anything out of the ordinary here. In which case, I don't think I have to worry too much about this shelf. Probably not. Hey! Let's see, what's on this shelf? There are all kinds of dietary supplements and different medicines. The protein drink we found in the rec room probably came from this shelf. All the containers on the shelf are labeled with the letter A and a number. How dare you call me out like this, Byakuya? I guess I can consider this part of the shelving unit Section A.
But wait.
There's one bottle here that's labeled Chem C9. Could someone have put it here on accident?
I should try to find out more about the shelving unit.
Looks like it's split into 3 sections. Section A has dietary supplements, Section B has reagents, and Section C has lethal chemicals. Sakura must have gotten the protein powder from Section A. But what concerns me is that in Section A, there's a bottle with a label from Section C. What was a bottle of poison from Section C doing in Section A? There's definitely something going on here. Oh, I still do? There's a bunch of yellow powder scattered on the floor. I better not leave a footprint.
I should probably take a good hard look at that powder.
There's a bunch of yellow powder scattered on the floor in front of the shelf. There's also remnants of a broken bottle. Looks like the bottle was labeled Chem C4. It looks like someone left footprints in the powder. Based on the positioning of the prints, whoever it was only went to the left side of the shelf. According to Byakuya, the powder would have had to have been spilled right around the time of the incident. That's all I can tell for now. I've already taken a good look at the chem lab. Maybe I should take another look around the rec room.
Let's go!
Leave the area, please.
And then the rec room is the 3rd floor. How's everyone in here? So Makoto, how's your investigation going?
I told Kyoko what Toko and Hiro had told me.
I see.
So along with Byakuya, they're both claiming they didn't go see her. But it's all too convenient. Someone must be lying. Someone's lying.
Anyway,
Well, I've made some progress of my own. Sakura's body, the shelf of magazines, and the Monokuma bottles. These 3 things have revealed new clues. You'd do well to look over them one more time.
Wait, what did you say? Okay, Sakura's body, magazines, and the bottles. Okay, let's go to the magazines first. Well, I wonder who's lying. Anyway. Kyoko said the magazine shelf was hiding a clue of some kind. Clue. Huh? This magazine's upside down. It's Pretty Pudgy Princess! Did someone put it back the way on accident?
hey,
If something catches your eye, it's important for you to explore that in detail, don't you think?
Yeah, you're right.
I picked up the inverted magazine and flipped through it.
There's a...
On one of the pages, near the center of the magazine, a word had been written in bold, bloody letters, and it said, Toko. Could this be
a dying message?
correct.
Then it would appear you found it.
Kyoko, is this...
So,
It is indeed a dying message. Someone used their finger to write it.
a dying message?
however,
But just to be clear, I'm not the one who put it back upside down. It was already like that when I found it a little while ago. I made sure to put it back exactly as I found it, for the benefit of others who might come looking.
Hey, is that says Toko, right?
Yeah, it looks like it.
Then she's the killer, right?
Well, it hasn't been confirmed yet.
I will forgive you.
It's settled. She's the killer for sure. That's conclusive evidence, right? We can use that to corner the killer.
I can see why you could think that, but it just seems too easy. If anything, it makes me that much more suspicious. Okay, and then they said to look at the bottles again.
I think Kyoko said she found a new clue involving the Monokuma bottles.
Something new. Something new.
Hey,
So, did you figure it out? There's a hidden correlation between all the bottles. Pay careful attention and you're sure to find it.
Correlation.
Hey, Kyoko, can't you just tell me what it is?
so,
I don't mind guiding you toward clues, but giving you my conclusion isn't a good idea. Each person needs to come to their own conclusions, so that everyone can have confidence in the outcome.
And it's not just because you don't trust me, right?
No answer!
I do trust you, to a degree. Otherwise, I wouldn't have told you anything to begin with.
Only to a degree?
hey,
Actually, there's one other thing about the Monokuma bottles that's bothering me. I'd like to do an experiment to confirm it. You don't mind helping me, right?
An experiment?
anyway,
Can you gather up all the pieces of the broken Monokuma bottle? Try to get the smaller pieces too.
Are you sure it's okay to mess with the crime scene like that?
that doesn't matter.
I've already done a thorough investigation, so it's fine. And then obnoxious Byakuya's not here, so...
So then,
Anyway, I need to get something from the chem lab. While I'm gone, try to gather up all the glass.
With that, Kyoko left the room.
I don't really know what this is about, but what choice do I have? I better just do it.
I took the broom and dustpan and got to work collecting all the broken bottle pieces. And just as I finished up,
Sorry to keep you waiting.
so then,
Is everything ready? Then let's get to work.
So, what kind of experiment are we doing?
in other words,
I got a scale from the chem lab. We're going to use it to compare weights.
Compare the weights of what?
The pieces of glass you collected. And the one of the Monokuma bottles that's still intact.
Why do you want that?
That's the point of the experiment. It'll make sense when we're done.
Listen.
First, let's compare the weight of the 2 normal Monokuma bottles.
It's balanced.
In other words,
Which means each Monokuma bottle weighs about the same.
Which makes sense. The Monokuma figures inside are basically the same, and nothing else could really affect the weight.
so then,
Now comes the important part. Put all the pieces you picked up on one side of the scale. Now, what might we expect to see?
Well, a normal assumption would be either they'll balance out or the pieces I collected will be lighter. I did my best to get them all, but there's a chance I could have missed some here and there.
so then,
Okay then, let's give it a try.
Uh-huh. The broken pieces are heavier? How is that possible?
I knew it.
Just as I thought.
What?
In other words,
The results of our experiment and the correlation between each of the bottles. Put it all together,
hey,
and I believe you will arrive at one very persuasive conclusion. So, what do you think? It's all on you.
Alright, Sakura's body.
According to Kyoko, there's still something to be discovered from Sakura's body.
just a second.
Just staring off into space isn't going to help you figure anything out.
Yeah, I know, but
Hey,
Don't you think you might need to actually examine the body?
whew.
There's no getting around it.
Unlike me, Kyoko didn't recoil at the thought of touching a dead body. She was completely unemotional. It's the kind of thing I've grown perversely used to. Although, there's still some times.
I can't believe how calm you are. No matter how many times I see a dead body, I can't get used to it.
It's true.
That's totally normal.
Then, how can you...
So,
I imagine it's because I've had plenty of opportunities to touch dead bodies in the past.
What?
Sorry, never mind.
hey,
More importantly, look here.
Her shoes?
correct.
You see that yellow powder on her instep?
Yeah, it really stands out.
I see.
That powder is clue number 1.
Hey,
Hey, Spencer! Hope you're having a good evening. Welcome.
Next is the wound on her head. Look carefully.
it's true.
Actually, even telling you that it's incredibly difficult to spot, so let me just explain.
Okay, how's it going over here? It's going okay. Just playing some Danganronpa and solving a murder. Sakura. I love Sakura. Anyway. Yeah, things are okay here. I get to hear the bop of the investigation murder song, so it's good. Solve the murders? Oh, I intend to. Even though I already know all the murders, I intend to do this. Regardless.
Let me just explain.
It would seem.
It would appear that she didn't suffer a single blow, but instead received 2 blows to the head.
2 blows?
Indeed.
Interesting, wouldn't you say? And there's one more interesting thing.
Correct.
Both of her hands were spotless. There's absolutely no trace of blood on either one.
It's true.
So that's what I learned from examining her body in detail.
I can't believe she was able to learn all that just by looking at her body. I don't think anyone but Kyoko could have pulled that off. It's time, y'all. Ding dong bing bong. Time to die. 'Cause it's trial time.
Whoops! You caught me sleeping. Your investigation was just so boring I couldn't stay awake. Should I do it? Is it okay? Can I? Okay, then let's begin the class trial. You know where to meet, right? Please go through the red door on the first floor of the school. See you soon.
It's already time? But the mystery of the locked room is still only half solved. At this point, whatever happens will have to happen at the class trial.
No, not whatever happens. I have to make something happen.
Oh boy, there's the red door. Investigations don't take... Here, okay, real talk, y'all. I'm used to, like, investigations in, like, the later games where it takes a while. I forget how short they are in the first game. Regardless, let's yeet into the trial.
Monokuma made his announcement and everyone began to meet up one after another. And then...
The ultimate martial artist! A locked room mystery! Winky face emoticon.
What the?
Oh, I've just recently discovered the power of emoticons! Like, no matter how awful something is, if you toss in a smiley face, it turns positive.
Yes, indeed.
For example, you're at a picnic and you find a dead body!
I love this game.
This is just plain creepy.
Well,
And how about the reverse? No matter how great something is, if you put in a sad face, it makes it look super negative.
yes,
For
indeed.
example, do you have 100 friends? Sad face!
Huh. Okay. Also means he pronounced the XD.
XD!
He's right. That does make it seem sad.
I can't wait.
Now then, please get on the elevator. Oh. I'll see you all down there. Ah.
What was that?
I don't get it.
Just the
I don't get you guys. How can you act so casual after murdering someone?
Don't look at me.
I don't think I'm acting casual. This is incredible. I'm glad you think so.
Don't be mean.
I mean, I didn't murder anyone.
Yeah, I'm completely innocent. How dare you call me a murderer?
Whatever.
Either way, the truth will be revealed soon enough. Because there can be no doubt one of us is the culprit.
The killer, the one that murdered Sakura. She was stronger than anyone I know. Yet someone killed her. And that person is here? That person is one of us?
Don't look at me.
I said it before and I'll say it again. It wasn't me. And the culprit is one of us. Make no mistake about that.
Because I didn't do it! How many times do I have to tell you?
How can you just stand there and say you didn't do it without even breaking a sweat?
Hey,
Standing around here isn't going to do any good. Let's get going.
Oh, come on. It's time to put an end to this.
May we wait toward the elevator.
But with each step I took, I felt like I was moving further and further away from my goal. I could feel a chilling fear run through me, trying to make me rot from the inside out. No matter how many times I go through this, it never gets any easier. We climbed into our steel prison in total silence. We watched the doors close and felt it begin its sinister descent. The elevator lowered, uttering its all too familiar clunking sounds. It fell lower and lower, and as suddenly as always, the ride was over. The doors opened once again.
Huh, just the six of you, huh? Really? That's so few. You must be so lonely.
You say it like it's not your fault that we're all that's left.
I wonder, will the class trial end with one less classmate again? Or will your school life come to an end completely?
Now then.
Are we ready to begin? You know the drill. Find your assigned seats.
And so the curtain opened for the fourth time. A deadly judgment, a deadly deception, a deadly betrayal, a deadly riddle, a deadly defense, a deadly faith, deadly class trial. In perfect time, too, because it's about time for us to take a break, y'all. So, we're gonna take a quick 5, stretch your legs. We get it, Makoto. Yeah, that's one thing that I do. I'm kind of glad that they changed in the later games, is that they, at the beginning of the class trials, they don't always do a deadly judgment, a deadly deception, a deadly, it's like different every trial in the future. For the most part. Like, it's somewhat similar, but there's like differences. At least it's not that. So but for this game, it's gonna be that the whole way. Anyway. So, we've done our investigation. Let's take a quick 5-minute break.
and stretch your legs, go to the bathroom, do what you gotta do, get some water, because when we come back, it's trial, baby. Time to do the trial, my favorite part.
Alright, so let's just take a quick 5-minute break, okay? Cool. Be right back, y'all.
Hello, I'm back, and I just realized my break screen has the music stuff on it. That was not the song that was playing. I should have got rid of that before I left. Whoops. Oh well. But we are back, and we are going to do Danganronpa trials. Oh boy. Oh boy. So let me double check her skills. Welcome back. Got a BRB here too. That's totally fine. Also, thank you. I'm just gonna be going over the evidence. No worries. You're good. I could increase the influence gauge. Vocabulary. Increases bullet capacity. Oh, that's for PTA. I kind of struggle with that, so honestly, I think I'm gonna grab it. Because here's the thing. Influence gauge is super helpful, and it probably will be helpful later, I think, potentially. But like, at least in the first game, I haven't really ever felt the need of like, oh gosh, I'm almost out of influence, oh no. Even on mean difficulty, so I think we're okay without that. Actually, I could switch these. This costs 2, this costs 4. Okay. Can't switch them yet, but in the future I can switch them. But I struggle with PTA in this game, because like, I don't know, the rhythm is weird. Regardless. Let me save real quick, and let's go over evidence. So we got the Monokuma file. Victim was Sakura. Time of death is estimated to be around 12 noon. The body was discovered in the rec room on the 3rd floor of the school. There's evidence of a strong blow to the head to the victim's head. No other injuries were noted. However, it seems that at some point the victim suffered from violent vomiting of blood. The door. A chair had been jammed against the door within the rec room, blocking access from the outside. It's believed that the killer did this to create a locked room scenario. Sakura was found dead, seated in a chair, slumping forward. Traces of blood were found around her mouth, presumably from when she vomited blood. However, there was no injury or indication as to why she would have vomited blood. A bloodstain was found in front of the shelf of the magazines. The blood is presumed to be Sakura's. There's currently no explanation for how a bloodstain would have appeared so far away from where the victim was found. Candy wrapper. At one point, Hina had been injured and taken to the nurse's office. After she was taken care of, she gave a piece of candy to Sakura, which had this type of wrapper. According to Hina, she had monopolized this candy as soon as it had become available, so obtaining a piece would have been difficult to impossible. The pieces of red glass scattered near the table in the rec room. After finding the top and bottom pieces, it was concluded that the shards must have come from a bottle. Monokuma figure was found laying on the rec room floor. It would fit roughly in the palm of your hand. And there are a number of red bottles on a shelf in the rec room. Inside each bottle is a Monokuma figure. Additionally, there seems to be some kind of unknown correlation between the bottles. So this was the figure and then bottles. Okay. And then, okay. And an empty protein drink. An empty protein drink was found near the rec room door. The container had a label reading Chem A2. Shards of glass from the window that was broken to get into the room were found both around and underneath the container. Fresh handprint was found inside the rec room's open locker. Since the locker was open before they opened the locked room, there's no way someone was hiding in there before they arrived. Excuse me. Sakura had written notes to Toko, Byakuya, and Yasuhiro asking them to meet her in the rec room by noon. She had slid these notes underneath each person's room door. Byakuya's account. Byakuya confirmed that he received Sakura's note, but also claimed that he never went to see her, and in fact had not seen her at all that day. Toko confirmed she received Sakura's note, but also claimed that she never went to see her. A small bit of garbage accidentally fell out of Hiro's pocket. It was a piece of paper with red polka dot dots on it. Yellow powder was found in the instep of Sakura's foot. Kyoko summary. Sakura suffered 2 blows to the head, not 1. No blood was found on either of her hands. The experiment. All of the bottles appear to be roughly the same weight. However, when the bottle shards were weighed against an intact bottle, the shards were found to be heavier. Dying message. On the magazine shelf, one magazine had been put back upside down. Inside this magazine, Toko's name had been written in blood. It is assumed that whoever wrote it used their finger to do so. On the shelf in the chem lab, Section A contains supplements, Section B contains reagents, and Section C contains harmful chemicals. A bottle of poison labeled as Section C has been placed in Section A of the shelf. There was a broken bottle in front of the chem lab shelf, which was labeled Chem C4.
The powder on the floor is assumed to have come from this. According to Byakuya, the powder would have had to have been spilled after the incident took place. So let's source the footprints in the powder. Someone had left their footprints in the powder spilled in the chem lab. These footprints appeared only in the leftmost section of the shelf. From this, it can be assumed that the suspect only had business in this area. The victim was Sakura. Oh, we're back to the top. Oh. I'm here, but Twitch isn't loading the video for some reason. Oh, that's okay. Is Twitch being dumb? Sounds like Twitch is being dumb today. It's all good. Well, actually, if you're loading the video, I'll just type it. It's all good. Yeah, sometimes Twitch has issues. I've heard sometimes reloading helps, but I don't know. Or playing the video in a lower quality video. You can change that in the settings, but I'm not sure. Okay, why am I saying this? Here, I'll type it out. Try refreshing or putting the video in a low quality. I don't know. Hopefully that works. Save. Alright. Woo! It's time for the trial. Okay, let's do this. Finish preparations.
Let's begin with a basic explanation of the class trial. So, your votes will determine the results. If you can figure out who done it, then only they will receive punishment. But if you pick the wrong one, then I'll punish everyone besides the blackened, and the one that deceived everyone else will graduate. Now then, where to begin?
We already know who did it.
Oh, do we?
Whoa! Deja vu!
The one who killed Sakura is one of the people that hated her. Byakuya, Toko, or Hiro. It was one of you.
Idiot.
I had nothing to do with it.
Yeah! I'd never kill someone, no way!
I don't want to hear your stupid excuses.
Hina seems really sure that one of those three is the killer. She must have some reason for believing that.
Well, let's figure it out.
Count. Hina's count. Byakuya's count. Okay.
It was one of you. One of you killed Sakura.
And what reason do you have for saying so?
Because you all had a motive. You hated her.
Is that it? That doesn't make any sense. That's the only reason you have her accusing us?
That's low. That's about as low as you can get.
Okay. There's gotta be some reason why Hina feels so strongly. Probably her account.
It was one of
on
you.
What Hiro said.
One of you killed Sakura.
And what reason?
Because you hated her.
Is that it?
That doesn't make any.
That's the only reason you have her accusing us?
Oh, I thought I missed that.
No, it's wrong. Another reason you suspect them is because Sakura wanted to meet with them, right?
Yeah, and that was right before she died. So there's no doubt about it. One of those three killed her.
Can't disagree with Hina. There's a good reason to suspect all three of them. Then does that mean one of them did it? Oh gosh, we're hopping right into it already. Okay. We had this death. Yeah. Hey Shala, welcome.
The fact that Sakura wanted to meet with all three of them.
Actually, I should have asked if you want to
there's
go buy
no way
lemon.
that's
My
not
bad.
Suspicious. One of you is absolutely guilty.
I don't deny that she wanted to meet with us, but I never went to see her.
Okay, that tracks.
I didn't either.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, same here. I never saw her.
Name sign? Okay.
Come on. There's no way none of you went. At least one of you is lying.
Well, let's pick the obvious one, shall we? Those three were definitely contacted with the killing numbers. I don't think that's true. One of them is definitely lying.
The fact that
Yeah.
Sakura wanted lying to me. There's no way that one of you is
I don't deny that I never went to.
I didn't either.
Yeah, same here. I never.
No, that's wrong. Hiro, when we were talking before, you dropped a small piece of paper, remember? It was white with red polka dots.
What's that got to do with anything?
red polka dots? That's gotta be the wrapper from the candy I gave Sakura.
Hero, buddy. Yeah. Hero. Hero. Hero.
No, it's
Uh-huh.
Ever since we got into the warehouse, I totally monopolized that entire box of candy. So there's no way a single one of them was left in the warehouse.
In that case, Hiro, where did you get that piece of candy?
From Sakura! It's the only explanation.
Well, I mean, yeah, sure I got it from her, but she gave it to me forever ago. It doesn't have anything to do with what happened to her.
Uh-huh.
When did she give it to you?
The last time you saw Sakura was when Hina had to go to the nurse's office, right?
Yeah, so I must have got it sometime before then.
Hero said can't be right. Wait, I see the thing pop up. Let me save. Frick! The game says no! Sakura could only have gotten the candy after the incident in the nurse's office. The reason I know that is... Hero got the candy. When Sakura got the candy.
I got it!
I was half paying attention. There we go.
I'm not sure about that, Hiro. Hina didn't actually give Sakura the candy till after she left the nurse's office. So if that was the last time you saw her, there's no reason you should have had that candy.
Damn it! I mean, what I meant was, oh, that's right! I did meet up with her in the rec room. You got a problem with that?
Why the sudden hostility?
Thank you, Toko.
But we just talked, that's all. I didn't do anything, you gotta believe me!
You're acting incredibly suspicious.
You're acting incredibly suspicious!
Children, please.
You are hostile.
It's not just normal hostility! You're the real culprit! I even have proof!
Alright.
Proof? What are you talking about?
I'm talking about her shining message.
What would a shining message even be?
At the scene of the crime, she had written out Toko in her own blood, right? It was her dying message. Just like what you guys were talking about with Sayaka.
That's true. I saw it for myself.
See? See? Toko did it!
What are you saying? No way! I didn't do it!
You just don't know when you're beat, do ya?
Hiro, hold on. When did you see that dying message of hers?
Huh? Well, when we found Ogre's body. Duh.
Uh-huh.
But if you recall, Hina was very adamant about keeping you away from the scene of the crime. So it's hard to believe that's when you actually saw the message for yourself.
Hold on. When Kyoko found the magazine with the dying message, it was on the magazine shelf.
I got it!
Specific words.
Kyoko, you found the magazine on the magazine shelf, right?
That's right. Looking through the shelf, I found the magazine with the dying message on it. I found it right there at the scene of the crime, after we'd started the investigation.
If that's true, then what Hiro just said doesn't really make sense, does it?
Doesn't make sense? What doesn't make sense? Everything I said makes perfect sense.
There's an obvious problem with what Hiro said before. But there's an obvious problem with me trying to save before the phases. Yes! Ugh! I love this song. It's such a jam. The dying message, the body, and the trash, okay.
I can tell you exactly when I found the dying message.
Be sure it
When
says.
Ogre's body was discovered.
And I can tell you when I found the dying message.
Unless.
It was only after the investigation had begun. I found the magazine tucked away on the magazine shelf. When I pulled it out, I saw her final words.
What's your problem? What I said makes total sense.
Oh, crap. Is this... I need to double check something. trying to remember if this is one where I have to memorize a statement or if I have to use this as evidence. Frick. There's something definitely wrong with what Hiro just said. Yeah.
I can tell you exactly when I found the dying message.
Well...
When Ogre's body was discovered.
And I can tell you when I found the dying message. It was only after the investigation had begun. I found the magazine tucked away on the magazine shelf. When I pulled it out, I saw her final words.
What's your problem? What I said makes total sense.
Oh gosh, I'm trying to remember how I do this. Frick, it's been a while. Let's try this.
I can tell you exactly when I found the dying message. When Ogre's body was discovered.
Oh shoot. Well, that didn't go well. Here, take this.
And I can tell you when I found the dying message. It was only after the investigation had begun. I found the magazine tucked away on the magazine shelf. When I pulled it out, I saw her final words.
Frick, which one is it? Oh gosh, I can't remember.
What I said makes total sense.
I think it is the magazine itself. I'm gonna go with it, but I forgot to grab it that time.
You exactly when Ogre's body.
I know we have to contradict that statement.
I found the magazine.
It's just a matter of what is it memorized or is it the evidence?
What I said makes total sense.
I can tell you exactly when I found when Ogre's body was discovered.
No, it's wrong.
Booyah!
When Sakura's body was found, that magazine was sitting on the shelf nearby. That's where Kyoko found it, after we'd begun the investigation.
I did it! My brain remembered, which is a rare thing, but my brain remembered how to solve the puzzle. Heck yeah.
And you weren't at the murder scene, so there's no way you could have seen it then.
Can't get Twitch to load. I'm gonna have to bow out. Sorry I missed your stream again. Nah, dude, you're totally fine. You're totally fine. Totally fine. Things happen. It's all good. I hope you have a chill evening. Boop. It's all good. I don't know if you're gonna watch the VOD later, but I promise it's totally fine. Stuff like that happens all the time. What matters is that you spend the evening however you want to spend it. That's what matters. Yeah, just take some time and chill to yourself, or just, yeah, play some games, do whatever you want. It's okay. You tried and that's what matters. It's all good. What I was trying to say. Anyway, Hiro.
Tell us the truth, Hiro. When did you see the message?
Hold on. You're focusing on the wrong part. Why does it matter when I saw it? All you gotta do is read the Vienna sausage Ogre left us, and we know who the killer is. Toko!
I don't even know where to begin with that one.
Yeah. Like, what is even Vienna sausage? Like, I've heard of it, but like, I don't even know what it is. Sorry.
He's just trying to confuse us.
Actually, can we even be sure Sakura wrote that message in the first place?
Yeah? I think we can all agree Ogre wrote that message. 100%, without a doubt, she wrote it. And this is me talking, so you know it's true.
Without a doubt? No, I absolutely do doubt it. There's no way Sakura wrote that message.
Can we say first, please?
Oh, it's PTA. Oh, okay. No, wait, it's BT? I forget how this is.
Show me the proof. I'm at least 30% right. The occult is bullcrap. Show me the proof. I'm at least 30% right. The occult is bullcrap. The end is nigh. Show me the proof. I'm at least 30% right. The occult is bullcrap. Show me the proof. I'm at least 30% right.
And to go, it's a fever time.
The occult is bullcrap. The end is nigh. Can't hear you. Conspiracy.
Okay.
Show me the proof.
This should prove it.
That was the only evidence I got, so.
I'm completely unconvinced that Sakura wrote that dying message. Because if you look at it, the message was almost certainly written using a finger. But both of her hands were completely free of blood.
Say what?
Then, who did write it? Hiro could very well have written it himself. That would explain how he knew about the message in the first place.
Yeah, that's exactly what happened.
Ah! He admits it!
I figured as much.
But why would you write something like that?
Because I killed her!
Wow. You're admitting to killing her?
Please, just let me explain what happened.
Suddenly this would have been the quickest trial ever.
I got Ogre's note, and so I headed to the rec room right before noon, just like it said.
You just did exactly as the note asked? What a fool.
And when I got there...
Sorry, but do you mind waiting? I asked a couple of other people to meet as well. Oh, okay. Would you like a piece of candy? It might help give you some energy. Oh, sure. Thanks.
And that's all she said. After that, we just stood around in awkward silence. Suddenly, I heard her mutter something.
This is it. I'm going to end it today. I'm going to end everything.
As soon as I heard that, I just knew. I knew she was gonna try and kill me. She was gonna kill me and make her escape. So of course I freaked out, and then... I saw my only chance. I grabbed the Monokuma bottle from the shelf and smashed it across her head. I hit her from behind before she had any idea what was happening. Then she just went limp. I didn't see her move again after that. Once it was over, I pulled myself together. I realized if I didn't do something, I'd be caught. So I wrote Toko's name in blood across a magazine on the table and I ran away.
I can't believe you! You're the worst! I hope you die!
Well, that's what happened. Go ahead. Roast me, boil me, do whatever you want.
You're not gonna get off that easy. It's death. Death for the one that killed Sakura. We're ready to vote now, right? We know who did it.
No, I think there's more to Hiro's story.
What are you talking about? What else could there be?
There's one thing that Hiro's story just now doesn't explain. And until we figure that part out, we can't consider the case closed.
So what is it that Hiro did that doesn't make sense? Why the magazine was hidden?
I got it! That's true. Everything you just said. It doesn't explain why the magazine was hidden, does it? By the time the body was discovered, the magazine had been picked up and put on the shelf. Why would you take the time to write that message, then stick it somewhere we might not find it?
Exactly.
Oh, well, I didn't hide it. I'm sure I just left it sitting there on the table.
Really?
He's lying! He's gotta be lying!
I don't see any reason he would lie now, after already confessing to the crime.
Then he's not lying?
Assuming he's telling the truth, someone else must have put the magazine back on the shelf. In other words, at least one other person was in the rec room both before and after the incident.
I don't think there's any question about that.
But then, who was it?
If they went to the trouble of hiding the magazine, they must not have liked what was written on it.
Someone who wouldn't like what had been written. There's only one choice. The person whose name was there.
I got it! It had to be Toko, right? Who else would want to hide the magazine other than the person whose name was written on it?
Was he right, Toko? Did you really go to the rec room?
Why would I have... Wait! But more important, that doesn't even matter! We already know who did it, right? Hiro just admitted it!
That's right. I killed her.
No, you didn't.
Who asked you?
I don't doubt Hiro attacked Sakura with the bottle. But that's not where this case ends.
What do you mean?
What he means is that Hiro isn't the killer.
You can't be serious! That's just... I don't believe it!
Hiro, tell us what happened one more time. If we go through it once more, it should become clear he's not Sakura's killer.
So, what do you want me to do?
Just tell us what happened one more time, when you attacked Sakura.
I don't really see why, but okay.
You haven't reached the end of the case yet, just yet. Hiro isn't the real killer, and I have to prove that after I save. Oh gosh, summary, message, file, body, powder. Okay.
I didn't want to, but I did it. I grabbed a Monokuma bottle from the shelf nearby, and I hit Ogre from behind before she could do anything.
You hit her from behind. And you only hit her once. Is that right?
Yeah, just once. After the first swing, the bottle shattered. And she went limp.
See? Isn't it obvious? Hiro really is the killer!
Well, Hiro hit Sakura, that's for sure. This doesn't end there. Let's speed through this.
I didn't want to, but I grabbed him on a coop and I hit Ogre from behind before she could.
You hit her from, and you only hit her once.
Yeah, just once.
But she had 2 wounds.
No, that's wrong. If Sakura died from Hiro's single blow, that doesn't explain why she had 2 head wounds.
2?
That's right. She had 2 separate wounds on her head.
And remember, this girl examines dead bodies as a hobby. Personally, I'm inclined to believe her.
But I only hit her once. How could she have 2 wounds?
2 wounds means she was struck twice. What's more, both attacks must have come from a Monokuma bottle.
Hold on. How can you know that just from some cuts on her head? She was attacked twice with 2 Monokuma bottles?
It's not just because of her head wounds. It's also because of the Monokuma bottles themselves. There's something very suspicious about those bottles. Once you understand that point, you'll understand why 2 separate Monokuma bottles must have been used. Think back. After the incident, there were 4 Monokuma bottles left on the shelf, right? And we found pieces of a bottle on the ground, along with the chess piece it had inside.
That was the bottle Hiro hit Sakura with, right?
For now, just note that there were 4 intact bottles and 1 broken bottle. But originally, there were 6 bottles in total, meaning 1 has gone missing.
But how can you know for sure there were 6 bottles?
That's easy. If you look at what the bottles all had in common, it should become clear.
Correlation between the Monokuma bottles. I feel like it's starting to become clear. What could it be? Y'all, what could it be? What do you think it is? The connection. Time for the easiest Hangman's Gambit. Oh, we only get 1 letter. Okay. I don't need those. Oh, this one. Beautiful.
Now I understand. That's it. The chess pieces. Inside each bottle, there was a Monokuma figure holding a different chess piece.
King, rook, bishop, pawn. I definitely remember seeing each of those.
I don't know if you heard, but I accidentally bumped my microphone. I'm sorry.
And the piece that was inside the broken bottle we found was the knight, if I remember.
So, what's that matter?
I guess you don't know too much about chess, do you? Then let me explain. In chess, there are 6 different pieces. The king, the queen, the rook, knight, bishop, and pawn. What was left intact at the crime scene were the king, rook, bishop, and pawn. Just those 4. And on the ground was the knight.
Oh, so the queen is missing.
So we only have evidence for 5 bottles at the scene, while 1 apparently went missing.
What does chess have to do with anything?
Yeah, shogi is way better.
You know, I've never played shogi, so I don't know.
Yeah. Hey, no, that's That's not what I mean. So, let's say a bottle did go missing. There's still no evidence that has anything to do with this case. That bottle could have disappeared any time before the murder.
No. It's clear that the missing bottle is connected to this case.
How is it clear?
Think about what state the missing bottle must have been in. Maybe then you'll understand.
Bottle that was missing. It was excited. No, it was broken.
I got it! The bottle must have been broken.
What makes you so sure?
Because there was evidence at the scene that supports it.
Huh?
That's right. We found evidence that shows there was more than just one broken bottle at the scene.
And what is this evidence?
It was an excited bottle. It vibrated so much that it shattered. Just fell. It shook so much, it just waddled off the, table and then broke. That's yes. That's what happened. That's my story. I'm sticking to it. Anyway. Evidence that proves that there was multiple bottles broken. No, it's gotta be the experiment then, if it's not that one.
I got it! Earlier, Kyoko and I did a little experiment. We compared the weight of the broken bottle pieces at the scene to one of the unbroken bottles. And what we found was that the collection of pieces was heavier. And the reason for that is there was actually more than one bottle's worth of shattered glass.
So from this, we can surmise that 2 bottles were actually broken at the scene of the crime. But someone did their best to clean up the pieces of one of the bottles, along with the figure inside. But when they did, they must have left behind a few too many pieces, which is only natural. They certainly had no way to measure the exact right number of pieces to remove.
But why would they have to try and get rid of it like that anyway?
Because of what it would reveal about the case.
There can be no doubt that the second missing Monokuma bottle is involved in this case. Must have been used by some bowling. Okay. I have to know. Toko and Ogre were having fun bowling using Monokuma balls as pins, but Toko threw her ball a little too hard and... Well, Makoto, thank you very much for wasting all our time. Listen, Kyoko, I was curious! Anyway, it was from the second attacker.
I got it! The bottle that was removed from the scene was used the second time Sakura was attacked.
The second wound on Sakura's head came from that second bottle. Given all the evidence, this is the only possible conclusion.
The killer wanted to make it look like there was only one attack, so they had to get rid of their evidence.
From there, we can conclude that it wasn't Hiro who delivered that second blow. Wouldn't you agree, Toko? And there's the matter of the magazine. You must have been in the rec room when the incident took place.
Wait! I admit, maybe there was a second attack, but there's no evidence I had anything to do with it.
No way! You killed her! I'm sure of it!
Shut up! Until 2 seconds ago, you were claiming you killed her!
I'm not afraid to admit when I'm wrong. That's just the kind of guy I am.
I'm trying to remember moments where Hiro has admitted that he was wrong. Anyway.
Plus, I just remembered something that proves it.
Okay, fine. Let's hear it.
I just realized Miyake this whole time is just probably sitting there, just head in hand, just like, oh my gosh, these idiots, what am I going to do? And so when Hiro's like, I have proof, he's like, okay, please, enlighten me.
It was right after I got Ogre's note. I was kind of nervous about it, so I went to the rec room early. You know, to stake it out or whatever. So I was waiting there, and that's when I saw her. I saw Toko go into the rec room.
You did?
Pretty soon, Ogre showed up, and she went into the rec room. I assumed Toko was still in there, so I figured everything would be okay. That's why I headed in. But when I got inside, Ogre was all alone. Toko had disappeared.
And you just now decided to share that with us?
After the shock of thinking I'd killed someone, I forgot all about it.
Could someone tighten the screws on his brain? I think they've come loose.
So, Toko, where the heck did you disappear to?
You don't know what you're talking about. I never went in the rec room.
I'm sure she didn't disappear, but maybe she found somewhere to hide.
Hiding in the rec room? Don't be ridiculous. Why are you all ganging up on me? You're all nothing but vermin.
It's not ridiculous at all. There's definitely proof that shows Toko was hiding in the rec room. Let me save again.
I'm a safe scum, y'all.
Oh, new element was added to BTB. Okay, so this one it's BTB. Okay. Tell me about it. You've probably been pressing the left mouse button for a final strike. Oh, okay. So this is where I can pick between multiple truth bullets now. Or use the mouse wheel. Oh, I forgot to use the mouse wheel. Also like the debate. If your logical difficulty is set to kind, you'll have fewer bullets. We're going to pretend you're set to mean regardless. Just this once, okay? Well, it's okay, because this whole thing is... I'm on mean already, so we're good. You're about halfway through the game now. Go you! It certainly doesn't feel... Okay, listen, y'all. Speaking of the halfway point, I was mathing out how many more streams it would take to finish this. I think if I... Depending on if I, like, break the form that I have been doing this whole time, I might be able to finish this game in 3 streams. So I don't know why this game's like, you're halfway through. I'm like, bro, I've already done like 8 parts of this stream. Like, that's not halfway if I can finish this in 3 next. Regardless. Good luck and have fun.
It's a lie! I admit nothing. I hate you. I curse you. No! That's enough! I admit nothing. I curse you. I curse you. It's a lie! That's enough! It's a lie! I admit nothing. I hate you.
Ow.
I curse you. No! That's enough! I admit nothing.
Okay.
That's enough!
It's hiding in the rec room. Oh, shoot, the handprint. Go!
This should prove it. Did you know someone left a handprint behind on the inside of the locker? They must have been hiding in there and put their hand on the wall without thinking. Does this handprint look familiar, Toko?
No, it doesn't.
Okay then, let's just compare it to your hand, shall we? That'll clear everything up, right?
Stop wasting my time. Just tell us the truth.
Okay, it's my handprint.
Dang, she just straight up admitted it.
Then you killed Sakura! No, I swear, there's no way!
Out with it.
I probably did kill her.
Straight up again.
I just... Listen, y'all. I just love how Byakuya is just like... Everyone's like, oh my gosh, you killed her. She's like, no, I didn't. Byakuya's like, tell the truth. She's like, okay, fine, I might have done it. Like, I don't know why. It cracks me up every time.
Wait, what do you mean probably?
Give us the details, Toko. What happened between you and Sakura?
Talk. Now.
After I read Sakura's note, I decided to go there early, so I went into the rec room.
Another example.
I didn't know what she might do if I didn't go, but I was too scared to face her head on.
Like, it is sad that she's basically, like, at Byakuya's beck and call. But I also find it hilarious. Don't let people treat you like that, by the way. Anyway.
So I figured I'd just sneak in first and hide in the locker.
Then, did you see what happened? Did you see me hit her?
Yes, and I saw you write my name. I saw you forge her dying message.
Well, that's awkward.
So after he left, I jumped out of the locker and put the magazine back on the shelf.
But when you did, you put it back upside down.
I didn't mean to. I was in a hurry.
Imbeciles, all of you.
Again, Byakuya, head in hand, this entire trial.
Forget all that. Why did you attack Sakura?
After I put the magazine back, I heard a sound behind me like a monster growling. And when I turned around, there was Sakura, covered in blood and staring right at me. When I saw that blood, I fainted right there in front of the magazines. I don't remember what happened after that. If you want to know more, you'll have to ask her.
Her? You mean... Oh, on command.
Guess who's back?
Hey!
It was your fault after all.
My fault, Master's fault. When our faults combine, they soar to even greater heights.
Just answer the question. Did you kill Sakura?
Well, to be honest, Miss Morose and me don't actually share our memories, so I can't really say what was going on. But I was just minding my own business, sleeping peacefully when someone shook me awake. Was it a prince paying me a visit? I wondered. So I opened my eyes to see... splatter everywhere! I was not prepared for that. And, well, I guess it took me by surprise. I got so startled, I smacked her with the first thing I could find, which I guess was a bottle. Sakura was just worried about you, and you're terrible! No, she's terrible! Thanks to her, I murdered someone who wasn't an adorable boy for the first time ever!
And when it was all over, you collected the pieces of the bottle to get rid of the evidence, didn't you?
I wasn't about to die for some woman! If I'm gonna go down, I want it to be for killing Master!
Just go away and die your meaningless death alone. Don't drag me into it.
But I just can't catch a break, you know? Fate's got it out for me. Because normally, Sakura should have been able to dodge my attack, no problem!
Even as strong as she is, she must have still been reeling from Hiro's attack.
Hey, come on. That's... you know... But anyway, I'm not the one that killed Ogre. So that's good.
So that's good? Keep on talking like that and Hina's gonna...
Well then, that's that. Let's start the vote.
Huh? I thought for sure you had some words for Hiro on that one.
What's wrong? Come on, everyone, we're ready to vote, right? Let's do this.
No, not quite yet.
Head out of hand, finally.
Huh? Not yet? Why not yet?
Don't you think there was something odd about Toko's story? I mean, you had to have noticed.
Odd? Huh?
Hiro's attack, and then Toko's, but that still wasn't the end of it.
It wasn't?
Tell us your story one more time. Tell us what happened after you fainted. Then even this gaggle of idiots should understand what I'm talking about.
Your wish is my command, darling.
It's not over yet, is it? One who killed Sakura is... Hold up! Hold up! Hold up! Okay, go. Okay, the summary, the dying message, the file, the body, and the powder. Okay.
I was just sleeping peacefully, and all of a sudden, Sakura was right there in front of me. I remember waking up right in front of the magazine shelf.
And you were taken by surprise when you saw Ogre covered in blood. So you smashed her head in with the Monokuma bottle?
You got it! I smashed her good!
And where did the attack take place?
Right where I woke up. I killed her there in front of the shelf.
Wait! Do it! It's the last one! Frick, it disappeared. Yeah. So I believe, if I know my evidence right, Sakura was in the chair. So that's the contradiction, I believe.
And all of a sudden, I remember waking up.
And you were taken by surprise and you smashed her head in with...
You got it!
And where did the attack take place?
Right where I woke up. I killed her there in front of the shelf.
Ah! Gosh dang it! I was out of focus! I was out of focus!
I was just asleep, and all of a sudden, I remember waking up.
You were taken by surprise when you smashed her...
You got it!
And where did the attack take place?
Right where I woke up. I killed her there in front of the shelf.
No, that's wrong. We found Sakura sitting upright in a chair. If the blow by the shelf was the cause of death, there's no explanation why she was in that chair.
So, you finally noticed.
Just another lie from a bloodthirsty serial killer.
Are you sure you didn't attack her while she was sitting in the chair?
No, I'm sure she's telling the truth. Anyone who saw the murder scene should think the same way.
Yeah. Has to be it. The evidence that proves there was an attack in front of the magazine shelf. Well, where is it? It's the fact that... Frick, where is it? Oh my gosh, I totally skipped over it. It's like right at the beginning. There's a blood stain in front of it.
I got it! Sakura was definitely attacked in front of the shelf. The blood stain by the magazines is proof of that.
Then she must have moved the body after she killed her, right? All to make it look like I did it. Because when I hit her, she was sitting in the chair.
Hey, come on now, look at me. I can't carry anything heavier than my own scissors.
I mean, I think you're pretty strong, Jack.
There's no way I could move a muscle-bound heavyweight like that.
Then what's the deal?
Well, are you still convinced the case has come to an end?
But
Plus, the biggest mystery of all, the locked room, still has yet to be explained. Until we take care of that, we can't say this case has been properly settled.
oh, that part's easy. After she killed Sakura, Toko just hid in the locker again.
Huh. So she just hid in there till everyone showed up and opened the door? And while everything was all confused and hectic, she just snuck out of the locker into the group.
No, I don't think that's possible.
The reason that's no possible was Toko was hiding in the locker was because... Frick! I saw it for myself. I was in the locker. It was me! No, I saw it for myself.
I got it! Even before we opened the door to the rec room, Hina and I both got a look inside. And at that point, the locker was already open. So obviously Toko couldn't have been hiding in there.
Okay then, where was she hiding?
I don't know. What's this whole locked room thing about anyway?
How do you not know? You killed her!
I think the fact that I don't know proves I didn't kill her. Thank you very much. You're lying.
No, she's not. I've been saying all along, there's still more to this case.
But if Genocide Jill didn't do it, that means Ogre didn't die from the shot to the head.
And
Well, I can't imagine what else could have killed her.
that's because you're overlooking vital information.
Would we really be missing something so important? There's another possible explanation. Maybe... Whee! Okay, the summary, the message, the file, Hina's account, and the powder.
What was it that killed Ogre?
I think it's the file.
It wasn't from Genocide Jill's attack. Then what was it?
There's no other possible cause. What killed Sakura? I can't think of anything other than the shot to her head. So you're dead set on blaming me, huh?
Sakura's true cause of death. I'm pretty sure it's the file. It talks about how she vomited blood.
There's no other possible what killed Sakura. I can't think of anything other than...
No, that's wrong. According to the Monokuma file, Sakura had vomited blood. I think we can assume there's a chance this was related to her cause of death. In fact, there was even a trace of blood left around her mouth.
Well, I mean... maybe when she got hit with the bottles, she cut the inside of her mouth.
If that's all it was, the file wouldn't have specified vomited blood. Not to mention, I didn't find any cuts inside her mouth.
You even checked in there? God, you really are into dead bodies!
No, I'm not into dead bodies. What I'm into is solving mysteries.
But if there wasn't a cut or anything, then what made her vomit blood?
Some sort of reaction within her body. Most likely, Sakura was poisoned.
Poisoned?
That's right. This is the conclusion I've arrived at, and so there can be no mistake.
You're making me go all weak in the knees! She was poisoned? It isn't possible!
Actually.
Is it really so hard to believe? Then let me explain exactly how the culprit was able to poison her.
You can... explain it?
Of course, if you don't mind.
Everyone, quiet! Shut up and listen to Master!
But you're the only one talking.
Truth.
The key to unlocking this mystery was hiding in the chem lab up on the 4th floor.
Huh? Not in the rec room? And I could have found it all along.
You never would have, since you gave up on the search the moment you were barred from the crime scene.
Well, yeah, good point.
There's a big shelving unit in the chem lab that houses a variety of mixtures and chemicals. And that's where I found this.
Is that the poison?
It's not an especially powerful poison, but it'll still kill you if you drink an entire bottle. But the specific properties don't matter. What does matter is where I found it.
Where'd you find it?
The shelf is divided up into 3 sections, A, B, and C. In Section A, dietary supplements. In B, reagents. And in C, a variety of lethal chemicals.
And that's where the poison came from? Section C?
Well, that's the question, isn't it?
Bottle of poison Byakuya sodas. I know where you got it. Frick, I was half paying attention. He's talking about the one that was in Section A when it should have been in Section C, right?
I got it!
Okay, good.
The poison was actually in Section A, wasn't it?
Huh? You just said that Section A was for supplements or whatever.
Strange, isn't it? Why would there be a bottle of poison mixed in with all those nutritional additives?
Yeah, so?
I got it.
Why?
Yeah, barely. That's what I get for being distracted.
Because the culprit switched it out. That's why.
What do you mean?
I mean, this.
Couldn't believe my eyes. Byakuya put the bottle of poison to his lips and...
Master!
You were so shocked at what we were seeing, all we could do was stand there and watch. But as if it were the most natural thing in the world, Byakuya was as calm as ever.
That tastes awful.
Listen, I'm sorry to derail from the situation that's just barely happening, but I love that voice line.
Oh no! Master's in real trouble! You have to drink some water! You can't just swallow powder! It'll stick to your throat!
Idiot! He just swallowed poison! We need to make him spit it out!
The flavor certainly makes me want to spit it out. What's so high quality about this stuff?
Huh? What are you talking about?
I'm talking about the protein, of course.
Protein? Can I see that bottle for a second?
Sure. Do whatever you like.
Kyoka took the bottle from Byakuya and scraped out a bit of the contents with one finger. She touched the finger to her tongue.
It's protein powder.
Correct. That wasn't poison in the bottle, but harmless protein powder. Which makes one wonder, the poison that should have been in that bottle, where did it go?
The bottle of poison was actually filled with protein powder, which means that conversely the poison must have been in... Could it be? Maybe. Hangman? Hangman. Oh, jeez, it's a big word. I don't need any of these letters. Can I please get the letter I need? Can I get the letter I need, please? Game? Please? Oh, hello! Welcome back! I just saw your messages. Hope everything's okay.
Now I understand. The poison must have been poured into the protein can. If the protein's in the poison bottle, it seems only logical to assume the reverse is true, right?
Absolutely. The contents of each container were switched.
Gonna be lurking? Totally fine.
So the protein was in the bottle of poison, and the poison was in the protein can. Once you accept that, it becomes obvious how the culprit was able to get Sakura to drink the poison.
Holy crap!
All they had to do was hand her something there at the scene, and she was happy to drink the poison herself.
Something at the scene? The drink.
I got it!
which we just filled out.
You're saying they gave her a protein drink, right?
A protein drink which actually contained a deadly poison.
What?
That's all it took to kill Sakura. That is the true cause of death.
You know, I do remember Ogre saying that protein stuff was good for all kinds of aches and pains. So maybe she took it to try and help with the whole bleeding head wound thing.
But what was offered to her instead was a bottle full of poison. And I already know exactly who swapped the mixtures.
For real? Who was it?
Evidence revealing who replaced the two materials was left in the chem lab for anyone to see.
Evidence that shows who switched them. It has to be... I think he's referring to the footprints?
I got it! The footprints left behind in front of the shelf. That's the evidence you're talking about, isn't it?
I visited the chem lab this morning, and there were definitely no footprints there at that point. They must have appeared around the time of the murder, which leaves no doubt that they're connected. What's more, the footprints were in front of Section A, where I found the bottle meant for the poison. The culprit must have gone to Section A to swap the poison and protein, leaving their footprints behind. And given how clear the prints were, figuring out who they belong to will pose no problem. All we have to do is check everyone's footprints right now. Then we'll see.
It was me. The footprints. They're mine.
Hina?
If you're all gonna find out anyway, I'd rather you hear it straight from me, you know?
Then Ogre's killer was...
Yep. I did it. I killed Sakura.
Just as I suspected.
I don't...
The footprints were made by a pair of sneakers. There was no mistaking it. And the only people here who wear sneakers are...
Sneakers. Only people who wear sneakers are Makoto and Leon. No, Makoto and Hina.
I got it! Me and Hina are the only ones. Oh, so Byakuya. That explains why you...
These footprints must be... Makoto, are they yours? No! Okay, then let me see your shoes. I'll confirm their size for myself.
If the footprints didn't belong to Makoto, that left only one other possibility.
Just Hina.
Plus, Hina's been acting strange ever since the trial began. You were in an awful rush to get to the vote, weren't you? This whole time, you've been focused on pinning the crime on someone else, haven't you?
I can't believe it.
What about it can't you believe?
Well, it's just... the two of them were so close.
That's likely exactly why it turned out this way. Because they were so close, Sakura didn't think twice about it when Hina handed her the concoction. Hina used that trust to kill her. She deceived the victim, and she tried to deceive all of us. I have to say, Hina, coming from you, this was a particularly nasty little scheme.
Hina, is it true? Did you really kill Sakura? And if you did, why? Why would you do that?
I found her. There in the rec room. She was hurt. She asked me to bring her that protein drink. But when I went to get the powder from the chem lab, it just occurred to me all of a sudden.
Hina! Yeah.
Now's my chance to kill her. That's what you thought, right? That's when you switched out the protein powder, and that's when you gave her the poisoned mixture.
And then she downed it all at once. And then...
Hold it.
Thank you.
I'm not convinced.
Thank you.
You're not about to claim she wouldn't kill a close friend, are you? You still don't get it, do you? The game we're playing here isn't so kind. Honeyed words like friendship don't matter here. What matters is outwitting the opponent, defeating them. Not a person alive would sacrifice themselves for another. In the end, we're all in it for ourselves, just like how this girl sacrificed Sakura to save herself.
You say that, but I'm still not convinced.
How many times do you plan to repeat yourself?
Don't misunderstand me. I'm not saying it because of some misguided sentimentalism, but there's still that one unsolved mystery, and I'm not convinced.
I mean, I feel like there's a few unsolved mysteries, but let's continue.
Are you talking about the locked room problem?
Hina, if you really are the killer, explain it. How did you create that locked room?
Well, that doesn't matter. Just because I'm guilty, that means I have to tell you everything?
No, it doesn't. But the fact that you won't tell us concerns me.
Surely you're not... Do you honestly think Hina didn't actually kill her?
And if I do?
I'm with her.
Impossible. She switched out the mixtures. She's the culprit. There's no way you can doubt this.
Are you sure about that? Even ignoring the fact that I don't want to believe it, it just doesn't fit.
Agreed.
What doesn't fit?
I mean, why would someone leave such a clear clue like a footprint? It's too obvious. Too easy.
He's right. It makes it look like you wanted people to suspect you.
I was just nervous. So, I didn't notice I'd left a footprint.
You didn't notice?
Yeah, that's just how it was. What can I do?
Listen, Hina. Could you go into a bit more detail? Tell us more about when you switched the poison and the protein.
How come? That doesn't matter.
Hina, please. I'd like to know too.
Fine.
Waste your time if you like. It's clear that Hina is the culprit. There's nobody else to suspect. Nobody else could have possibly done it.
Go ahead, Hina. Start from the moment you arrived at the chem lab.
Well, right away I went to Section C and got the poison.
And is that when you spilled the powder in front of that part of the shelf?
Yeah. When I opened the bottle, I dropped it like an idiot.
I see. Okay then, go on.
So then I moved to Section A and got the protein powder, and that's where I switched them. Once I was done with that, I took the protein can that had the poison in it and left the room. But I accidentally put the bottle filled with protein powder back on the wrong shelf. And because of that, everything I did got found out. And that's it.
That story you just told. First you went to Section C to get the poison. Then moved to Section A to get the protein, right? Meaning you went from Section C to Section A. Do I have that correct?
Yeah.
But if that's true, isn't that a little strange?
Can you repeat that series of events one more time?
What's wrong with you, Big Mac? You're being awfully pushy.
It's the same thing no matter how many times you hear it. How long until you're satisfied?
How long? Till we figure it out. Hold on. So we have hit an hour mark again. Let's take a quick break. Quick 5-minute break, and then we'll continue with the trial, because I want to stand up a bit. Alright, so use the restroom. Stretch your legs. Do a couple of stresses. Get some water. Yeah, do all that stuff. We'll be back in about 5 minutes. And we'll continue this trial, and we probably will finish it. Okay? Alright. Cool. Be right back, guys.
I have returned.
Hello.
Are y'all ready to continue with the trial? Y'all ready to see where this goes? Oh boy. Let's get back to it. I did save, right? Pretty sure that's the save, but I'm saving again. Alright. Get this done. Here. Setting everything up again. Cool. Alright. Let's figure this out. Until I uncover the full truth of this case. Heck yeah! Let's go! Kira's being nice on my phone. For you. Oh, that's good!
Hello. Welcome.
Okay, powder. Oh gosh, 2 powders.
First, I went to Section C. That's when I grabbed the poison.
And you spilled some of the powder on the ground in front of the shelf.
Yeah. When I grabbed the bottle, I dropped it.
Okay, and then?
I moved from Section C to Section A. And that's where I switched the powders. Once I was done switching them, I put the bottle filled with the protein powder back in Section A. Then I took the bottle with the poison in it and left the chem lab. That's all there is to it.
Honestly, that's enough. How much longer must we tolerate this?
Okay, which one is this one? Gosh, it's been a while since I found this. This was Chem Lab Shelf? No, that's not what I was looking for. Okay, it's gotta be footprints in the powder then. Sure, there's something strange. It definitely contradicts something I already know. Yee.
First, I went to Section C. That's when I grabbed the poison.
Uh-huh.
And you spilled some of the powder on the ground in front of the shelf.
Yeah. When I grabbed the bottle, I dropped it.
Okay, and then?
I moved from Section C
Whoops.
to Section A.
There we go.
No, it's wrong. You said you went to get the poison from Section C, and that's where you spilled the powder, right?
Yeah? What about it?
And after that, you said you moved from Section C to Section A to get the protein. But the footprints left at the scene were not moving from Section C to Section A. That contradicts what you just said.
Then maybe she moved in some weird direction on purpose to disguise her movements?
No, that can't be it. Remember what Hina just said?
I was just nervous, so I didn't notice they left a footprint.
What the? Hina, what's the meaning of this?
Oh snap, Byakuya found out he was wrong.
Well, you lied to us. Plain and simple. If you look at the footprints, your movements in the chem lab are obvious. The powder had already been spilled when you came in, and you went straight to Section A. So you never went to Section C. Whatever you did there, it only involved Section A.
Well, you see...
What the hell? What's going on here?
And the footprints aren't the only problem with her account. Before I explain that part, I'd like to submit some new evidence.
New evidence? Impossible, there can't be.
Are you sure? After all, you're the one that gave it to me.
I did?
It was hidden inside the bottle of poison you gave me. I'm amazed you, of all people, would miss such a vital clue. A truly grave oversight.
Just say it already! What is it you think you found?
I found this.
A piece of glass?
It had sunk to the bottom of the bottle. And the hidden clue was exposed, thanks to you ingesting the powder.
Dun dun! Heck yeah! This is one of my favorite parts is when Byakuya finds out he was wrong about something. I love it.
I couldn't have solved the mystery without you. So, thank you for that.
Beautiful!
But, what is it?
Oh, you still don't realize? Well then, Makoto, why don't you explain it?
Oh, I'm still being resorted to. Makoto, tell them. Okay.
Huh? Me?
Fine. If you really do know, explain the meaning of that shard of glass.
Shard of blue glass. It's from the window.
I got it! It's part of the window from the rec room door, right?
The window?
The window we broke to get in was light blue, just like that. So I think that must be it.
You're right. It must be. Of course, that leads to another question. How did a shard of glass from the window get inside this bottle of poison?
What's so strange about that?
What's strange is that, according to what Hina told us,
Where was the ball of poison when I broke the rec room window? According to what Hina told us, it should have been... I know C is where the poisons are, but I'm just trying to remember it's being specific about, like, the poison bottle that's in Section A or the one that's in Section C.
I got it!
Ah, yes!
The bottle of poison was left on the shelf in the chem lab. That is what you said, right, Hina?
I get confused on, like, the specifics of stuff sometimes, but we're good.
And yet, somehow a piece of glass from the rec room window made its way into the bottle.
Everything Hina told us was a lie?
It's a lie. Sorry.
In reality, that bottle of poison most definitely found its way to the rec room. It was there at least until the window got broken. In other words, when the locked room was unlocked, there's no other way to explain the presence of that glass in that bottle.
And then, once the room was opened, the bottle somehow got moved back to the shelf in the chem lab. Meanwhile, the protein can we found at the crime scene was planted there. That had to be after the locked room was opened. In other words, after Sakura died.
Wait, hold on. You're moving too fast. I'll grant you, the bottle of poison may well have been in the rec room when it was locked, but how can you say the protein can was put there after the room was unlocked? We already know she was given the protein can with the poison inside, right? If that can wasn't there when she died, how did she get poisoned?
You're right. We do need to explain that. But before we do, there's something I'd like to confirm with everyone here.
Huh?
It has to do with the protein can. After Sakura's body was discovered, Did anyone move it or trip over it or anything like that?
What are you talking about? Is this some kind of loaded question?
Not at all. Just answer to the best of your ability.
Well, no, not that I remember.
Yeah, me either.
Not me.
Same here. Yeah, me either.
Okay then, that settles it. That proves that the protein can found its way to the murder scene after the room was opened.
Oh, come on! How can you say that? How can you know what I don't know?
Okay. The reason she could say that is because there's evidence. Proof that someone brought the protein can into the rec room after it was open. Yes. Get into the intense music. He's so angry. I agree. Okay, source of the powder, the account, the empty drink, handprint, and the chem lab shelf. Okay.
When it comes to that protein can,
Oh gosh, I only have 2 minutes.
there's not a doubt in my mind. Until the locked room was unlocked, it absolutely was not in there.
So you're saying someone planted it there after we got the door open?
No. No, that's impossible. It had to have been in there the whole time. It had to be. It was in there before the rec room was unlocked.
Hold on. Hold on. Wait, okay. This trial? Yeah. Yeah, okay, it is the empty protein can. I just wanted to double check. I was like, I'm pretty sure this is the one that talks about shards of glass being under the thing. Oh no! Too late. Let's do that again.
When it comes to that protein,
There's not a doubt until the locked. It absolute.
So you're saying someone planted it?
No. It had to have been in there the whole time. It had to be. It was in there before the rec.
Oh.
No, that's wrong.
Heaven forbid Byakuya be wrong. Heaven forbid! You know. It's one reason why I like this trial.
You remember how there was broken glass scattered all around the room, right?
Byakuya gets a waking call. Anyway.
Of course. It came from the window you broke to get in. What about it?
Well, those pieces weren't just scattered around the protein can. We also found pieces underneath the can.
What?
And this proves it. It shows that the can must have been put down on the floor after the window was broken. So it had to be after we got into the room.
I see. So that's your explanation. Kyoko, earlier when you asked if anyone had moved the can or tripped over it...
if that were the case, that would explain the can being on top of the glass.
So you asked everyone about it to eliminate that possibility right out of the gate.
And that's made everything clear, hasn't it? As long as it was a locked room, it only contained the bottle of poison, and not the protein can. But once the room was opened up, they were switched, and as a result, the protein can wound up in the rec room, and the bottle of poison returned to the chem lab.
If that's all true, then why did Sakura drink the poison? I thought we all agreed she was tricked into drinking it because of the protein can.
No, that's not why. The only explanation is she drank it from its original bottle, knowing exactly what it was.
Precisely. She was alone in a locked room. All she had was the poison. What other possibility is there?
You're saying she drank it knowing what it was? Such a ridiculous fiction is...
Exactly what happened.
Then tell us already. Sorry. Please, tell us.
Wow! He said please, y'all. I'm so proud of him. He's working on it.
Before we get to that, we need to clarify one other thing. We need to establish who exactly got the poison from the chem lab and took it to the rec room.
Who exactly got the poison from the chem lab? Okay.
It was Hina, right? She took it and gave it to Ogre.
What do you think, Makoto?
His heart grew half a size. Just a single half. Maybe a quarter. But it grew, and so we'll take it. Because that's improvement. Gosh, that's the true Christmas story. That's the true Christmas story. His heart grew a half a heart that day. The one who got poison from the chem lab and brought it to the rec room had to have been Sakura.
I got it! I think it was Sakura herself.
Huh? So Sakura, who was apparently murdered, just poisoned herself? What are you talking about? There's no way!
On the contrary, we know for a fact she went to the chem lab, right to the section full of poisons.
You're lying! Stop lying! Why? Why would you lie like that?
It's not a lie. Sakura definitely went to Section C. I have to get Hina to admit that.
Oh boy,
We're doing BTB again. I'm pretty sure it's BTB. Yeah, BTB.
You're a liar! What are you saying? Wrong! You're wrong! Just let it end already! You're a liar! Wrong! You're wrong! I hate you! You're a liar! What are you saying? Wrong! You're wrong! Just let it end already! You're a liar! Wrong! You're wrong! I hate you!
Ah, let's do this.
You're a liar! I'm telling you, I did it! I hate you!
Probably gonna record that later. Oh, cool, 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 cool.
Do you have any kind of proof Sakura took the poison?
Nope, it wasn't that one. Okay.
You're a liar! What are you saying? Wrong! You're wrong! Just let it end already! Do you have any kind of proof Sakura took the poison?
It's gotta be yellow powder, right?
This should prove it.
Ooh.
Hina, did you know that Sakura's foot had a certain yellow powder stuck to it?
It did?
Yeah.
It did. The same yellow powder that had been spilled by the shelf in the chem lab.
I thought that evidence was labeled like Sakura's instep or something, but no. Okay, it's yellow. It was just a yellow powder. Cool.
That powder was yellow, wasn't it? So the powder we found on Sakura, what else could it be but the powder from the chem lab?
Wait. So, what was that powder doing on Over's foot?
And it was only on her instep, right?
Sakura must have been standing right there where the powder was spilled. So the person who spilled the powder by the shelf wasn't Hina, but Sakura. And when Sakura dropped the bottle, she dropped it away from where she was actually standing, which is how she was able to avoid getting it all over herself. But the powder still got scattered around, and some of it must have wound up on her instep. Is there any problem with my thinking?
But why did Sakura pay a visit to Section C in the first place? The only explanation is that she was looking for poison. After all, that's all that section contained.
No! It was me! The poison! Because I killed her!
No, you didn't kill her.
The one that killed Sakura. Oh boy. It's time. The one that killed Sakura. The connection between Sakura and the poison, and the unsolved mystery of the locked room. There's only one way to explain it. The one who killed Sakura was Sakura herself.
Here's my answer. The one who killed Sakura was Sakura herself.
Did I just say that word for word? I can't remember. Holy cow.
What? The killer was Sakura?
Yeah, this trial. Okay, chapter 4s in all Danganronpa games are very emotionally taxing. Let's just say that.
Wait, so you're saying it was suicide?
I don't believe it. I don't believe it any more than I believe I can fly.
I did do it. Holy balls. Anyway.
I can't believe it either. Or rather, I don't want to believe it. But when you really think about it, everything matches up.
This trial is the worst. I like, it's super sad. It's super sad. But I also like it because I think it's a well-done trial, but that's just me.
Sakura went and got the poison. She barricaded herself in a room, and she drank it, all so she could end her own life.
4th trial in this game. Yeah, it was. No spoilers, please. We'll just say it's the Funhouse trial, but no spoilers. No spoilers, please. It's a very good trial.
And that explains why we couldn't solve the mystery of the locked room.
Because, of course, Monica Byakuya did it in secret. No, Sakura wanted to create the locked room.
I got it! The locked room mystery was created by Sakura.
I'm sure she locked herself in so nobody could stop her from doing what she did. She sat there, drank the poison, and breathed her last breath. And the empty bottle of poison rolled around the locked room until we came and opened it. At that point, someone grabbed the bottle and snuck it out of the room. And that was you, wasn't it, Hina? You did it to throw off the investigation, didn't you? When we found her body, you stayed right there near the door, because you already knew Sakura was dead, and because the bottle of poison had rolled near the doorway.
That's when you picked up the bottle, right? I was too shocked to notice anything, and Kyoko was busy checking the body.
And the more I think about it, the more I realize how unusual your actions were.
I have to go get them. I have to go get the others.
On shaky legs, Hina left the rec room.
You said you were going to go get everyone else, but your real intention was to go to the chem lab and switch out the containers, wasn't it? Once you were at the chem lab, you headed straight to the section where the protein powder was kept. There, you took the powder and poured it into the bottle of poison you'd grabbed from the rec room. When you left the lab, all you had was the empty protein can. Thinking about it like that, the footprints make perfect sense.
When you were done, you gathered everyone together. And once you were back in the rec room...
I got everyone.
Ogre?
Oh, so she's dead, huh?
Sakura's been killed. I see.
While everyone else was focused on Sakura, you quietly placed the can on the ground. Honestly, you should have noticed. You should have been the first one to run up to Sakura's lifeless body. The Hina I know never would have left her side in a situation like that.
So, Sakura committed suicide. In order to hide this fact, Hina undertook a series of actions to undermine the investigation. As long as you could disguise the truth, you didn't care if we blamed you for her death. That's why you didn't bother to get rid of such obvious evidence, right? The footprints in the powder and the bottle of poison? Vital pieces of evidence, and yet...
So you're saying Hina consciously deceived us to make it look like she killed Sakura?
No! No, 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 no! I killed her! I did it!
That's enough, Hina. It's over.
It's not! Nothing's over!
It is. Actually, no. You're right. We have to end this properly.
We get to make a comic book! Anyway. I should have saved. Okay. Sakura wanted to talk to Hiro, Toko, and one other person. Where is it? She wanted to talk to Byakuya. Look at him being all sinister. Okay. Toko got to the rec room early. Okay, so she hid. Hiro came in. They chatted a bit. Hiro... Let's see. What was in the Monokuma bottle? Is this. Because he used the bottle, hit Sakura. And then Hiro used... Oops. Let me go back. Hiro used that to try to frame Toko. Ran away. Toko, who was still hidden in there, came out, went, put the magazine back on. What did she do with the magazine that had the dying message written on it? Where is it? Where is it? Isn't it right there? Hold on, I need to look at these closer. Okay, she put it upside down. There we go. Sakura woke up. Toko passed out. Jack came up, and then Jack smacked it with the bottle. Where is the bottle? Am I blind? There it is. Oh my gosh. And then I love that running away. Okay. Poor Sakura. And then what actually kills Sakura? Well, it was poison. And then we come in, we see Sakura. There's something on the floor near Sakura's body, which someone grabbed. It was protein. Wait, hold on. No, that's great. That means culprit. Okay. So they did that. What was it that they switched with the bottle of poison and left in the rec room? Wait a minute. What was it that they switched with the bottle of poison and left on the front floor? Okay, so it's not this. Wait, no, that's there again. Hold up. There's two there. Oh my gosh, it's the poison. Okay, so I told y'all, my brain is half here today. So, pocketed the poison, and then they put that back in. Okay, I think that's how that works.
The killer is you! This case began when Sakura asked a number of people to meet her in the rec room. Specifically, those people were Hiro, Toko, and Byakuya. But one of them headed out a bit earlier than the others. Toko. She got there one step ahead of everyone else and looked around for a good hiding spot.
Oh, it's not that one? Frick! I messed up! Thought I got it, y'all. My bad. Okay, so it's not that one. I should have paid closer attention. Wait a minute. Oh, okay. I got these two mixed up. Okay. Bloop! Hopefully now it'll be fine. Sorry to interrupt the comic book part. It's my favorite part. But I think this is how it worked.
The killer is you! But one of them headed out a bit earlier than the others. Toko. She got there one step ahead of everyone else and looked around for a good hiding spot. And she found it. She crawled into the locker to get out of sight. Then, from inside the locker, she saw Sakura enter the room. Next to arrive was Hiro.
Hiro's hair is so huge. Oh my
When
gosh.
he got there, he mistakenly thought Sakura was going to try to kill him, so he panicked.
No.
Without thinking, he grabbed a nearby Monokuma bottle and attacked Sakura with it. Thinking he'd killed her, he hastily began covering up his crime. He took a magazine from the table and forged a dying message from Sakura. To that end, he wrote down a name. Toko. By writing her name, he was hoping to pin the murder on her. But of course, Toko had witnessed the whole thing. So as soon as the coast was clear, she jumped out of the locker and hid the magazine on the shelf with all the others. But in her rush, she made one little mistake. She put the magazine back upside down. Soon after, she watched as Sakura slowly opened her eyes. She also saw the blood dripping off Sakura's head and fainted. This caused her personality to switch back over to Genocide Jack. When she woke back up, her second personality also saw the blood-soaked Sakura, and she freaked out. And just like Hiro, she grabbed another Monokuma bottle and attacked her. This explains why there were 2 wounds on Sakura's head. Assuming Sakura really was dead this time, she set about disposing of the evidence. She gathered up the broken Monokuma bottle shards and the queen chess piece. And that explains how Sakura was attacked twice with the same type of weapon. But even after those 2 blows, she was still alive. So then, what was Sakura's actual cause of death? It was the poison that Sakura herself got from the chem lab. She turned the rec room into a true locked room scenario, and then drank the deadly mixture. And there, she took her final breath. Later on, the rest of us discovered that her body was in there. We had to smash the door's window to get inside. But someone already knew what had happened. Knew that she had committed suicide. And that same someone quietly snatched the bottle of poison from off the ground. And while nobody was looking, replaced it with an empty protein can. They did all this specifically to place all the suspicion on themselves, in an attempt to guide the trial to a false conclusion. And the one who went to all that effort?
The one who literally tried to kill everyone. Unfortunately.
Was you, Hina. That's the full truth of the case. Sakura took her own life, and you claim to be the killer to hide that fact. Isn't that right?
That's what happened? But Makoto, how did you manage to... How were you able to uncover the truth that even I couldn't discern?
Huh? Oh, well, I mean...
You still haven't realized? We don't all act according to calculations and cost-benefit diagrams. That's what makes us so complicated. That's what you don't understand. And that's why you couldn't solve this case. See? Didn't I tell you? When you dismiss other people's feelings, it'll always come back to bite you in the end.
Boom! I love this. One reason I like this trial is because, again, it's a good wake-up call for Byakuya. Byakuya's realized, oh hey, I was wrong about a few things. He won't admit it, but he's thinking it. Super good wake-up call, I agree. It's unfortunate it had to be this way, but a very good wake-up call. So yeah, Sakura. And we're gonna get a big info dump now.
Okay. I think we can all agree you made your point. Did you guys forget already? You still haven't voted yet.
Oh yeah, that's right.
You seriously forgot?
Listen, this trial is kind of emotional, so like, we forget that we have to vote.
I can feel my energy draining out of me. Well, whatever. You don't really have a choice anyway. You just gotta do it. Maybe you don't want to, but please grab your lever and cast your vote. So, who will be chosen as the blackened? Will you make the right choice or the dreadfully wrong one? What's it gonna be? What's it gonna be? Okay.
Yeah, that's right. One who killed Sakura was Sakura herself.
My entire
Okay, we're done
existence.
here.
What did you say?
So that's the whole truth, huh? I see. There's still one thing I don't understand.
Come on.
Hina, why did you try to cover up what happened? If the truth hadn't come to light, you would have died along with the rest of us.
What are you thinking?
And yet why did you do that?
Don't be mean!
Yeah, we almost died there.
What is this?
Because that's exactly what I wanted.
What?
I mean, the reason Sakura died is because all of you pushed her into a corner. You all killed her. So that's why
You should have been the one to die.
I couldn't let her be the only one that died.
What?
You don't mean
You were gonna take all of us with you! I don't know why it's Jack, even though there's a stutter, but hey, whatever.
we have to atone for our sins? Because everyone, even me, we all killed her. We all have to pay for our crimes.
For serious? That's...
What is this?
You still don't understand? Then let me explain. Do you realize just how much despair Sakura was carrying with her when she died? Look at this.
Such brutality has made me desperate. So instead of just waiting to be killed, I'll do it by my own hand.
That's... I found it on the ground, in front of the rec room. It's Sakura's suicide note.
Suicide note?
Thinking back, I should have seen it coming. It was right after Genocide Jack had attacked me. Sakura got mad and stormed out of the nurse's office. Ran out after her, and... Sakura, calm down. You don't have to worry about me. I'm fine.
I can't calm down. I don't care if I suffer for this. It's my fault after all. But now you're suffering because of me.
No forgiveness!
You tried to protect me, but because of me.
I can't forgive this!
My closest friend got hurt.
Sakura.
Because of me. My friends are all going to kill each other. This is all my responsibility.
Sakura thought she was responsible. She thought everything was her fault. Which is why she wanted to find some way to get everyone to forgive her. So she asked to meet with them. You asked to meet with those three? You can't! Don't you see how dangerous that is?
Don't worry. I just want to talk to them.
But...
Talk about what? Listen, don't do it. If they all gang up on you at once, even you...
Hina.
Please, don't think of things like that. They're not my enemy.
They're friends.
Sakura... She clearly believed. She completely believed in all of us. If you just talked to her, you would have understood. She was a friend to all of us. And yet...
Why?
And yet... You trampled all over her feelings, and then you did the unthinkable.
No, that was just a misunderstanding.
What are you saying?
Don't stand there and call it a misunderstanding. She believed in you. You wouldn't even listen to what she had to say. Without asking a single question, you tried to kill her.
I won't forgive you.
Do you have any idea how desperate she was, seeing you act like that? That's what her suicide note means. So instead of just waiting to be killed, I'll do it by my own hand.
Why?
That's how far you pushed her. Sakura, what happened to you?
It technically was a misunderstanding. It's true. This whole thing... Anyway.
Hina.
You came.
Wait right here. I'll help you out.
Hina.
Huh?
I'm so glad I got to meet you.
What's wrong, Sakura? Why are you talking like that?
I have a favor to ask.
Huh?
A favor?
Some protein.
Could I ask you to...
Yeah, you got it. Just hang on. I'll be right back. That was the last conversation I had with her. I went to the chem lab to get the protein she asked for. When I got there, I saw the powder. And that's when I realized I saw that someone had taken something from the poison shelf. Sakura. So I ran back to the rec room as fast as I could. But by the time I got there, it was already too late. Sakura!
Please!
Let me in! Please open the door!
Why? Why?
She had weaknesses, just like any other person. If she got cut, she bled. If she hurt someone, she felt it. That's weakness. That's normal. And yet...
Why?
You all blamed her. I tried to protect her, and I suffered for it. And that just added to the weight she had to carry. I didn't even realize it.
Hina.
We killed her. All of us. We pushed her into a corner, and we murdered her.
Why?
People like us shouldn't be allowed to live.
And that's why you tried to lead us astray. You did your best to make us arrive at the wrong conclusion during the class trial.
Sakura died hating all of us. I wanted to free her of her regrets. But even that got found out. In the end, I wasn't able to do anything for her. I could never face her after this.
Hey!
I'm sorry to interrupt, but when you're about to deliver the final tearjerker, but...
Hey!
It's just taking so long! I'm about to fall asleep over here. I mean, do you really think you have any idea what Sakura was actually thinking when she died?
What is this?
What did you say? Everything you just said is nothing but your interpretation, right? Your own opinion on what her suicide note meant.
What are you saying?
Of course I know what she was thinking, because her and me...
In other words...
Well, what I'm trying to say is...
Yes, indeed.
Don't you think the entire foundation is shaky? What if it was really like this?
What the heck?
What is that?
Of course.
Isn't it obvious?
Yep.
A suicide note. Sakura's suicide note.
What? But Hina already...
Too bad.
Oh, I wrote that one. It was all me, baby.
It's true.
This is the one Sakura addressed to Hina and put in her room.
Huh?
What? Then... You lied to me? Oh, don't say lie. It makes it sound so dirty. I just thought I'd liven things up a bit.
Well now.
I can't help it if you totally took my little scribbles at face value. I didn't even have Sakura's signature on it.
You filthy little...
I'm not filthy. I didn't do anything. Did I falsify evidence? Did I affect the outcome of the class trial? The case played out between you and you alone. You are the ones jerking each other around. Heck, even if the will had been factored in, it still would have been between you guys.
Of course the bear lied.
Yeah. Smile Akuma. So what's the problem? This is all part of the production process. Okay? And scene. Cut!
And?
So then, what did she write in her real suicide note?
What are you gonna do?
I'm glad you asked. For your benefit, I shall read it using my melodic, angelic, harmonic narrator voice.
Hey!
But you know, haven't you ever been curious about the whole suicide note thing? Who came up with the idea of leaving a note when you killed yourself in the first place?
But hold on.
And isn't it just so unfortunate? Killing yourself is just so final, you know? You can never hear the rest of their story. The truth is lost in darkness. Gives me the willies.
Enough already.
Could you please get on with it?
Yes, indeed.
Okay, jeez. Talk about a buzzkill. All right, here we go. Ahem.
My good friend Hina, there's something I have to tell you. Listen, when Monokuma says, I want to use it in my melodic voice, I legit just want to imagine that Monokuma's voice completely shifts from like his regular voice to actually being like super serious. I find that hilarious. So where it's like, all right, I'm gonna read the note. My good friend Hina, there's something I have to tell you. Like, I find it funny. Anyway, I hate to do it like this, but you need to know. This is my final wish. Like to kill you with a buzzsaw? Everyone wants to.
As you know, I've been giving information to the one who's imprisoned you here.
It was our first night in this strange school that the mastermind came to see me.
You see, the mastermind took control of my family's dojo and demanded I become their tool.
You might not see the importance of a dojo, but my family has watched over it for 300 years.
I couldn't let it be destroyed under my watch, so even if it meant my own life, I had to protect it. That's how I saw things.
However, that was my greatest weakness.
And because of that, I made the mistake of giving in to the mastermind.
And what the mastermind wanted from me was nothing less than murder.
They were probably worried that until the first murder had happened, nothing would move forward. But what neither the mastermind nor I expected was the incident involving Sayaka. At that point, the plan changed. The mastermind told me to hold off, to wait until we reached another stalemate.
However, as I lived here with all of you, as I lived here with Hina, my resolve began to weaken.
Watching everyone fight with such despair, trying so desperately to stay alive, I saw the weakness in my own heart, the mistake of succumbing to the mastermind. And more than anything,
I cannot betray those who would call me their friend.
That's how I came to feel. So, that's why Sakura...
I've made a decision. I will no longer retreat, no longer compromise, no longer regret. I've made my decision. I'm going to resist you.
Of course, because of that, I decided to reveal her secret, which made everyone else hate her. Her decision to stay true to you all, to stay true to all of you led directly to all of you hating her for it. Ironic, isn't it? Or maybe oxymoronic, or just moronic.
Of course, I understand if you all hate me. All of this is because of my own weakness.
I'm perfectly willing to accept whatever attack you may want to make on me.
So this is my atonement for betraying you. That's what I had in mind.
But unfortunately, that's not enough. This won't end with just me accepting your hatred.
My own situation has started having an effect on more people than just me, which is exactly what the mastermind wanted when they revealed my betrayal.
My betrayal brought suspicion, disharmony. The mastermind knew that it eventually would escalate into someone murdering someone else.
Of course, I'm still responsible for that as well.
I have an obligation to get this situation under control. And to fulfill that obligation, I've decided to do as the mastermind had commanded. I will do as I was told, and commit murder.
But I've decided the one I'm going to kill is myself.
If the mastermind demands that I kill someone, then that someone will be me. Then my dojo will be safe, and above all else, none of you will have to kill anyone. When I die, the source of conflict among you all dies with me. For that, I'm willing to give up my life.
If it can save you, then sacrificing my own life could have no greater meaning. Whatever you think of me, please know that you are all my most treasured friends.
I've never had people like you in my life.
Huh? Then Sakura didn't feel cornered. She didn't die hating us.
No way!
She wanted to stop us from fighting? To protect us?
Correct.
She didn't end her own life because she was weak. Quite the opposite, in fact. She was strong. Too strong.
I love Sakura. Okay, had to get that out. Let's continue.
That's why she killed herself.
Those eggy sads. I think those are eggies. Like, eggy cry, that's what it's called. It's such a mood, man. Okay.
She chose death for herself in order to protect the rest of us. To sacrifice so much, no normal person could do that.
However,
it was only her limitless strength that made it possible.
Finally, Hina, I want to apologize to you especially.
The reason I didn't tell you any of this is because I knew you would try to stop me. I'm really, truly sorry, but please don't be sad. If you line it up right. If you line up on the right, we'll be heading out to trauma therapy in 5 minutes.
Yeah.
If I can thwart the mastermind's plan, if I can keep you from killing each other, that's enough for me. This is the path that I have chosen. This is the only way I have left to distinguish myself. and you can use this note to bring the class trial to a quick end. I'm so sorry to ask you to do something so unpleasant, but I have to leave the rest to you. Please talk to Byakuya, Toko, and Hiro on my behalf. I can't tell anyone about my plan while I'm alive, but I wanted you to understand why I'm doing this. In the end, though, I hope to show myself through actions and not words. Hopefully then they'll see.
I never saw you as my enemy. You were only ever my friend, who I wanted to help as much as possible. Hina, whatever it takes, survive. Survive along with everyone else. No matter what, just survive.
Okay. I thought I was done, but I'm not done. Okay. Yeah, this trial gets to me. So hard for me. Like, exactly. Yeah. No, I agree. It's a hard trial. It's one of the trials where I always like try to warn people like, hey, yo, this trial is gonna be hard to get through. Like, I think it's a really well done trial, but I also think it's well done because of how emotional it can make people, if that makes sense. Anyway.
I didn't understand how she felt. Not at all. I thought we were close, and still...
What are you gonna do?
But in the end, all our meddling was like totally pointless. She died so you guys wouldn't try to kill each other, but you almost ended up doing it anyway. Thanks to you, her death had no purpose at all. In fact, it was because of her stupid meddling that the rest of you nearly bit the big one.
Too bad.
She deserves all the blame. Everyone blame her. Go ahead. She deserves it. Now then, the next victim has been decided.
What do you mean, next victim? Nobody here blames anyone.
Huh?
First of all, you're in the wrong for tricking Hina with that fake suicide note. And plus, Sakura's death wasn't a waste.
Say what?
Because she made us remember. We're not enemies that hate each other. We're friends who need to work together.
You know?
You're right. This is all because of our misplaced hatred.
Well?
I don't blame her. I can't blame her. And nobody can blame Hina either.
Blah? Whether or not there was a spy never really mattered. Because the one we need to destroy is you. Nobody else.
What the heck? That's not how this is supposed to go. But anyway, are you sure about that? This killing game is a competition between all of you, remember?
Hey!
Your enemy is each other.
He's absolutely right about that.
But lovely Byakuya, you understand, don't you?
This is a life or death elimination match. The only way to survive is to win. There can be no doubt those are the rules of the game. Which is why I am bowing out of the game.
Huh?
Naturally.
Sakura and Hina were both willing to sacrifice their own lives to deny the reality of the game. Thanks to them, it would appear the others have cast aside their fear for this game.
Screw you, we have power, friendship, and anime on our side.
Heck yeah!
Don't make me repeat myself.
There's no point in participating in a game which has lost that sense of excitement. Which is why I will no longer be participating in it.
What is going on here?
Now I only have one thing to look forward to.
It's all clear.
And that is to heap the harshest possible punishment onto the one who thinks they can control me. Byakuya, does that mean... Don't misunderstand. I haven't been moved by some thoughtless sentimentalism, if that's what you're thinking.
Listen, that's exactly what we're thinking, and we think that you're just in denial. But that's just me.
Wherever Master goes, I go. And if the mastermind turns out to be a guy, maybe I can catch on fire.
Everyone!
Hey.
Well, now can you say that Sakura's death had no meaning?
You're boring.
Your heart grew half a size. It grew half a size this day.
But nothing good can come of this. I'm still gonna be the one having the fun time.
What the heck?
Fun time?
Anyway, Let's forget all about that good-for-nothing backstabber and get back on track.
You want me to punish you guys?
It's the moment you've all been waiting for. Punishment time! Wait, but Sakura was technically the killer, right? She's dead.
You're not gonna...
But is it me?
Wrong.
Oh, heavens no. Just because the blanket is dead doesn't mean I can just sub in whatever old student I want. Didn't I tell you? I'm very particular about the fair times one rule.
Big Mouth and Go-Karts for this? You haven't played the second game? No spoilers, please.
Listen up.
But I spent so much time preparing my special punishment, you'd be ashamed to let that go to waste. So for my special punishment, I prepared a special guest.
Special guest?
Let's give it everything we've got. It's punishment time.
Well, that's not good. Alter ego. No! Alter ego, I want you to know I love you. Weapon. Oh. Alter ego is amazing AI, and alter ego, man. You suck, man. You turned him into a mangled hunk of junk.
Oh, that really took it out of me. Maybe I'll go grill up a plate of chicken. After all, they say for a post-workout grub, chicken's where it's at. I'm all about the grilled goodness. Fried, boiled, give me a break. The color, a smell, a succulence. Grilled is where it's at.
So,
I realize how dangerous it could be, but still, I have to do this.
but
I'm scared, but I can handle it. I don't really understand why, but
still.
when I think about everyone else, my courage starts to grow. You might think I'm just some inhuman AI, but it's true. So it's okay.
I'm gonna do my best.
If it's for the sake of everyone else, I won't be afraid.
Alter ego's words raced through my heart and soul. My disbelief gave way to raw anger. The anger turned into fury, black and muddy and boiling over. It bubbled up through my body, quickly overflowing and shooting out of my mouth. How dare you? That was my friend! How dare you kill him?
What's the matter?
You were friends with a laptop? That's pretty pathetic. What's next? Friends with a basketball?
Shut up! He wasn't just a laptop. He was my friend. You killed him.
Isn't that what you call animism? Where soul dwells within things, even like laptops? Well, you can call it whatever you want. Bottom line is, it got in my way. It was trying to find things out all sneaky.
Just as I thought.
So, you finally noticed him.
Actually,
Finally? No. I knew about it from the very beginning. I knew Chihiro was doing something with the laptop, and I knew you were going to use it to analyze data. I knew exactly how it was all gonna play out from the start.
What?
What are you thinking?
You knew. You were still cocky enough to let us take the plunge.
yep.
Well, I mean, the data in that laptop, it was, I guess you can call it a gift from me to you.
Oh yeah, like I think, here's the thing. I think it was supposed to be a reference, but I think they purposely switched it to basketball for kicks and giggles or for whatever reason. I think it is supposed to be a Castaway reference though.
Or maybe more like a reward, in honor of you being able to unlock something so difficult.
Hey,
So of course I didn't care if you got access to that. But sneaking into the network was just too personal, so I had to do a little, reformatting.
I want to be able to help.
I want to keep being helpful to everyone. I want to work as hard as everyone else so that we can all get out of here. Alter Ego wanted to fight for us. He wanted to help, at the risk of his own life. And for that, he was killed.
Yeah, the punishment time has made me feel 1,000,000,000 times better.
Very.
Experiencing a meaningless death is so soothing. It makes me remember that every low can get even lower.
No, his death wasn't meaningless either. Everybody who's died so far, the deaths of each and every one of our friends, they all make us stronger. I swear, someday you will pay for this.
Holy moly, you're super mad, like, just unreasonably upset.
Well?
Okay, time to bring things to a close. Oh, but before that, I need to read the postscript.
What?
Postscript?
Yep.
Yeah, there's still a little bit more left of Sakura's note.
Huh?
Do I have your attention? Okay then, here we go. Prepare your ears for the dulcet tones of yours truly.
One other thing, Hina. There's something I'd like you to tell the others. Hopefully it will act as a clue to help you unravel the mystery of the school. A clue?
Hina.
I've spoken with the mastermind off and on the whole time I've been here, so I've learned one thing, which is the mastermind has done something to us. I think what they've done is...
Whoopsie daisy, that was a close one. Another word and we would have been hip deep in a spoiler territory.
Too bad.
Okay, I don't want to ruin the surprise, so book club is dismissed for today.
What? You can't just stop at the most important bit.
It makes your brain rumble and tumble, huh? It makes you so mad you don't even friggin' know, huh?
You guys?
That's the whole point, stupid. It's to get back at all of you for hardening your resolve.
Fine, but at least Sakura's note.
Think I ever let any of you greaseballs have it.
But...
Too bad.
Sucks for you, loser. Wait, what's this?
What is it now?
What?
There's one last line in the note.
And let me just say this to the mastermind. I'm not going to lay down and die. I will fight you, no matter what. And that's seriously it.
Huh. Wow, what a stubborn loser, huh? Hey, Fishy! Hope you're having a good night.
Or evening, wherever you are.
Hope you're having a good day. And welcome.
She won't lay down and die? She'll fight you?
Well, whatever. Who cares what some dead musclehead has to say?
Well?
Okay, I'm out of here. You guys should try to get some rest, you know? And maybe take some time to reconsider how you approach this school life of yours. Are you sure you don't want to graduate? Can you really cut free from the regrets of the outside world? Think about that. Think long. Think hard.
Those were his parting words to us before disappearing.
But what was that all about? Sakura's final message, her last clue to help us solve the mystery of this school. The mastermind did something to us? Kyoko said something like that before, didn't she? It was after Celeste's trial was over.
You...
What did you do? What did you do to my body?
Who?
What?
Hey.
Answer me. What did you do to my body? The mastermind did something to our bodies. What are they saying the mastermind did? What did the mastermind do to us? I mean, did the mastermind plant a bomb in us or something? And if we try to leave the school, a sensor goes off and the bomb explodes? I've seen stuff like that in movies and comics and stuff, so it's not totally unheard of. No, I feel awful just thinking about it. I can't afford to acknowledge thoughts like that.
Yo!
So, the class trial is over and Monokuma's gone.
But...
So, now what do we do?
Yes.
What else is there than to head back up?
Oh yeah! Okay, let's get out of here.
But...
Hina must still feel responsible. Dial back that ego a bit, girl. The kind of mystery someone like you could pose is absolutely no threat.
Not possible.
I would have never lost to that kind of challenge.
What are you talking about? Kyoko and Makoto are the ones who figured everything out.
Stop talking.
Shut up. I mean, listen, Hiro did point out the truth. We both kind of figured that out.
Seriously, I'm sorry.
How many times do you plan to apologize? How about you make that the last one? I haven't reached a point where I need someone apologizing to me more than once.
Sorry. Okay, I see what you mean. Then, I'll try. That totally wasn't normal, right? Did she just capture his flag?
No, 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 no!
I cannot suffer the existence of someone who would disturb the romance between me and Master.
Huh?
What are you talking about? That's absolutely not what's happening here. Why would I ever go for a sleazeball like him?
What did you say?
Sleazeball?
What the heck? That's right. I called you a sleazeball. Because you are. Sleazeball.
Apparently, you still have a death wish.
Oh, more biting sarcasm. No wonder you don't have any friends.
No, 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 no!
Hey, stop fighting with Master. You're making me jealous. I want the abuse. Give and take. Me!
I guess it's not so easy for everyone to act like friends. Well, that's just how it is for now. And so, Sakura's class trial came to an end, and we returned to the world of Hope's Peak Academy. But the story wasn't even close to over. Time kept marching on. We all went back to our rooms, and before long, night snuck up on us. Oh, ding dong bing bong. Toko, please. Yeah! Toko and Jack. At least they're kind of aware, but...
This is a school announcement. It is now 10 p.m. As such, it is officially nighttime. Soon the doors to the dining hall will be locked, and entry at that point is strictly prohibited. Okay then. Sweet dreams, everyone. Good night. Sleep tight. Don't let the bed bugs bite.
Nighttime descended and pulled me down along with it, down into sleep. I couldn't remember the last time I'd fallen into such a deep sleep. The night still wasn't over for me. A voice. I could hear a voice. Up. Wake up. The voice dragged me from deep slumber into hazy half-consciousness. My eyelids were like lead.
Kyoko?
Listen, okay, this isn't my joke, but I saw a streamer one time get to this point, and he was laughing really hard because he liked the idea of Kyoko looking down at Makoto being like, huh, pathetic. Isn't that like the exact angle? Anyway, it's just a good angle. Pathetic. You sleep? Ridiculous. In a killing game? Please. Anyway, sorry, let's continue.
Yes, it's me.
Huh? Kyoko?
I said yes.
So Kyoko's here.
Wait, what?
Yeah. In a flash, I was wide awake. What are you doing here?
It's true.
I'm here to wake you up.
Oh, I see. Wait, but my door!
It was unlocked. You're unbelievably careless.
It was unlocked? Are you serious?
Hey.
Always. And you don't have to overreact like that every time you're surprised.
What time is it?
Correct.
3 o'clock. In the morning, of course.
It's 3 a.m.? Why was Kyoko waking me up at this hour? Well, welcome to my room. There's literally nothing here, so make yourself comfortable. It's so late. What happened?
Makoto.
I have a favor I need to ask.
What's your favor? You live like this? Honestly, I can imagine Kyoko coming in being like, wait, you live like this? What the frick? And Makoto's like, I did have a sword in here, and then that sword got used as a murder weapon, so I don't really put anything in my room anymore. What's your favor?
So...
Remember what Sakura said at the end of her note? I'm not going to lay down and die. I will fight you. I want to find out what she meant by that.
Okay, but how do you plan to do that?
Then Kyoko put her lips next to my ear and whispered, "The data center, on the 4th floor.
What?
Goodbye.
I'll meet you there." Without another word, she was gone.
What the?
Her words reverberated through my half-dazed head. The data center? But I thought it was locked. What if we kissed? What if we kissed at the data center on the 4th floor at 3 o'clock in the morning?
Oh my gosh. I love this.
Alright, data center. I think I skipped that line, but whatever, we're here. Eventually I wound up at the data center, but when I arrived,
Kyoko's not here.
oh, she stood me up. No, I'm kidding.
Oh, that's weird. See, she said she'd meet me here. Is she maybe inside already?
Put my hand on the door, and with a certain amount of force, it didn't open. I tried again, but
It must be locked.
what was it Kyoko said? The data center on the 4th floor.
What's this?
Oh, what are you doing up, mister? Breaking into a locked room is incredibly prohibited, don't you know?
Oh, well, I just...
You're trying to tell me you didn't actually bust in yet, right? But I could see that, you dolt. Don't waste my time telling me crap I can see for myself.
Unbelievable.
It looked like you might break it in any second, so I just thought I'd give you a friendly reminder. Or are you gonna try and tell me you were sleepwalking or something?
No, nothing like that.
It's 3 o'clock in the morning, for crying out loud. Even I get tired, you know? So stop being weird and go back to bed.
What's wrong now?
Just a second.
Why are you out here making a racket?
Kyoko!
You too?
I didn't realize that was voiced. I forgot.
You guys?
Whatever. Till you just get back to bed. You're positively exhausted from the class trial.
It's true.
Sure, you got it. Come on, Makoto, let's head back.
What?
Hey,
Didn't you hear me? We're leaving.
I have no idea what's going on anymore.
shall we go?
Don't worry about it. Let's just go.
Okay.
Yeah. Go on. Get out of here. Shoot.
Okay.
So we left and went back to our rooms. And then,
Goodbye.
so, goodbye.
Hold on! Listen, what was all that just about now?
She woke me up, made me go to the data center, which just so happened to be locked, and then she shows up late and we leave without checking a single thing. What was the point of all that?
Whew.
Don't worry about it. I figured that would be the end of our conversation, just like always, but...
Goodbye.
Well then, good night.
Sure.
And then that was over. But as I turned to leave...
Mukuro Ikusaba.
Kyoko was right next to me once again, whispering into my ear.
Mukuro Ikusaba. The 16th student, lying hidden somewhere in this school. The one they call the ultimate despair. Watch out for her.
Oh. So there's a 16th student supposedly hidden somewhere. There were 15 of us at the beginning. There's only 6 left. But a 7th, maybe? To be continued. Whew. Oh, we got a lot. No alter ego. Yes, let's save.
Mukuro Ikusaba.
We'll deal with that at another point in time. So, thanks to everyone who stuck through that chapter. That's in my opinion, it's the chapter in the first game that makes me the most emotional, and it can be kind of hard to get through. So thanks to everyone who stuck around and got through that. So I calculated this. Oh, Chihiro. Okay, so that, by the way, that was a lot of fun. You made it to the end of one of my streams? Yeah, you did! I'm trying to think if there was any, like, fun trivia about Sakura that I can give. So, one thing about Sakura... I guess I forgot to give this earlier, I just wanted to get through the story. One thing about Sakura is that she doesn't really consider herself to be, like, the best martial artist person out there. There's actually someone that she considers to be stronger than her, which is shocking. And that, but the reason why she thinks, here's the thing, the person that was strong ended up getting super sick and is recovering right now, so they are not at their full strength, and so Sakura is kind of hoping that he makes a recovery so that, well, she was hoping that he makes a recovery so that she could truly fight him and see if she was the strongest. But the other reason she wanted to fight him was she actually had like started developing feelings for him, so she wanted to like fight him to like get over that. But that's besides the point. The fact is that she didn't consider herself that strong and was like, there's someone else who's stronger, and she was like working towards that to like try to beat them. I don't know. I just love Sakura so much. She's such a sweetheart. Anyway, so I was thinking I could probably finish this game in 3 more streams, but I'm going to have to like break the mold a bit, and some streams might go on longer. So the next time I play this, we're gonna go through Chapter 5, Daily Life, and Investigation, if I space this out right. So we're gonna be doing the all of that next stream. And then next time is going to be Chapter 5 Trial, and potentially some of Chapter 6. And then the last stream will just be Chapter 6 Trial. So yeah, I think I can finish this game in 3 more streams. Oh boy! It has been a long road. But anyway, besides the point, thank you to everyone who stopped by and watched. I really appreciate it. It means a lot to be able to sit and chat with you guys as I play through Danganronpa, and I hope, I don't know, my playthroughs either remind you of some of the cool things about this game series, or like makes you interested in checking the game series out, because this is what I got obsessed with back last year, and I do like this game series a lot. That's besides the point. Seriously, thank you everybody who stopped by. I guess I gotta head off now, though, but I really appreciate you all for stopping by. I hope you guys have a good evening, have a good night, have a good rest of the day wherever you are. Take care of yourselves. I'll see you guys later, okay? Bye!